Hey, and we're live. How's it going, everybody? Thought I'd do a Friday afternoon hangout. So I'm on my Facebook group and over on YouTube. Just thought I'd say hi, stop in. Well, stop in for 2 or 3 hours, I guess, and just say hi to everybody. It pops up. And I'm trying to get this posted over on Twitter. And people that want to join in, I'll put a link down below here in just a second. Let me see. Where is it at? We go to my invite link. If you're over on Facebook, right above in the description, you have to click on that link for StreamYard, the URL. Then when you type something, I'll be able to read it. Otherwise, it'll just say Facebook user, and I won't know who you are. But if anybody would like to drop in and hang out and talk about their printing or hobby stuff going on, laser, CNC, here it is. Marcus Adams, Brody, how you doing, guys? Nice to see you. Here's a link if anybody'd like to jump in. Let me copy the Facebook link and put that over on Twitter. Alrighty then, now that's on Twitter. Pop my chat back out. Yeah, thank you very much, Marcus. I got that form filled out yesterday. I don't know if they're going to accept me to be on the virtual Earth, but that'd be pretty cool. Then I could kind of show off my hobby room or show off some of my stuff and talk for, I don't know, they'll probably give me 5 minutes, if that, because I'm going to have so many people, but that would be cool. That'd be really awesome. So let's hope that works out. Let's see, pop out chat. Oh boy. Had to go to the doctor this morning to do a follow-up for the last time because I had surgery and she had to take a look at it. Yeah, I'll definitely let everybody know the time frame. I'll post it everywhere. So maybe I'll get more viewers out of it and more subscribers. That'd be cool. The filament dryer is working fine. I put 4 or 5 rolls through it. I haven't used it in a few days, but I haven't had any issues with it yet. I know that Nerys tested his, and on his live stream, when you looked at the screen, it was like backlit light, white, I guess it was. I forget what it looked like on the stream with black letters. And mine on screen and in person looks dark. It's got a little tiny light in the bottom. It has the black letters, but my backlight doesn't appear to be lighting up like his did. So maybe it's out of place or it's just a different version they came out with. But I mean, it still works. So I'm not going to knock it because the light don't look exactly the same. You decided not to apply it. I'm nothing going on. Yeah, most of the stuff I got here, I mean, I printed in the past. I printed a lot of things small recently. That's been for some videos that I've done, but most of the stuff I have, no one's ever seen. So that'd be exposure. I can just show people all the different statues that I wasted $1 zillion printing and mostly some painted, some not. Just kind of show what's going on. And maybe by the time that comes around in October, hopefully I'll have my patio enclosed where I can move my spray booth out there and my one tiny little Elegoo Mars resin printer and get that set up. And, you know, if I get an Etsy store going like I want, I can sell a bunch of models and I can buy me a bigger resin printer. And if I sell enough models, I could buy a super big resin printer. So that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, resin printers are great. As far as for messy, they're not messy, you know, just keep it in its own little area, keep the kids and animals away from it. And it's usually no big deal. Wear gloves, wear your safety glasses, be careful what you're doing. You know, if you're clumsy and you trip and drop stuff constantly, or you can't see very well, then I'd say don't get into resin, but you know, just be careful. It's not a biggie. What stopped me from so long getting a Creality one way back when, and I wound up getting the Elegoo Mars for the simple fact was, Manuel, how you doing? What stopped me in getting one is the fumes. I was worried about the fumes. And once I finally got one, I tried the Elegoo Mars resin. It's fine. I don't have a fumes problem whatsoever. I mean, when it prints a model and it's been going all night, when I take the cover off the next day, I can smell it slightly, but it's not bad. It doesn't stink or anything. And while it's running, I can't smell it at all. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. If I would have got into resin before I got into FDM, I would have more resin printers now and less FDM printers. You know, they both have their place, what you want to do. Some things need to be printed FDM and some things I think need to be printed resin. It all depends what you're making, what you're doing. And now that there's different people taking different types of resin, I forget what, ZYLTECH or ZYLTECH, something like that. And they're mixing different types of resins that cost different amounts of money. They're able to make their print stronger. There's a video I seen last week, and I think I shared it in one of my live streams, where a guy has an Iron Man mask and he's dropping him off a ladder. He's dropping a sledgehammer on it, all kinds of stuff. And it's not indestructible, but it doesn't shatter like glass. And initially I thought that all the resin I was working with was very brittle, but you know, I started out with Elgu. Yeah. Yep, that's the one. I got a picture I want to import and show you a picture. Let me go to my next screen here and grab it off my hard drive. I've been looking on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and then I just remembered OfferUp a couple days ago or yesterday. I got this off of OfferUp. That's going to be a door to my back patio. I didn't want to spend much money because I'm broke right now, pretty much. Wait until the first to roll around. But I sold a model to a friend of my son's, and this basically paid for my door. They were asking $130 for the door. I offered him $80. He said no, of course. He countered and came back and said, well, I said, well, I'm retired on fixed income. You know, what you sell to me for? I picked it up for $110. It does have a doggy door in the bottom, but it's too small for my dog, so I need a medium-sized door. It doesn't need to be as big as the door you see over there mounted in the wall next to the slider, but it definitely needs to be bigger than a cat door. That's small like a cat door. And that glass in it is double-sided. The blinds in it are built into the door, so I can slide that lever across the top and it will open and close the blinds. And there's another lever, I can slide it up and down and it will open and close the blinds. So I can tilt them to open them, or I can completely raise them up out of the way. And I picked that up for $110. It appears to be a solid foam-filled wood door. And yeah, great price. And it's a right swinging door, so it'll be perfect. So I got that done this morning. I said, I see my doctor. Then I came home, ate some food, and getting ready to work on a couple videos. Yeah. Yeah, the blinds around my house, I have blinds in all the windows. They're like plastic. They look like wood, but they're white plastic. And you turn a handle and they open and they close. Yeah, they get extremely dirty. Probably about every 6 months or so, I have to take them down, take them outside, and hose them off, let them dry, bring them back in. Or once a year, it depends. What's that link for? Blue strong provides resolution printing. Is that for resin? Hello, Facebook user, and this Facebook user. StreamYard has been having trouble with Facebook. I'm not sure how or what, but when you went to click to watch this video on Facebook, there should have been a URL above the words and above the video. If you click that and then type, then I should be able to see who you are, unless you type your name. But at the moment, I can just say, hi, Facebook user. I'm not sure who you are, but hi. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm currently buying off Amazon now. I have one bottle left that I'm working on. And then I got goodies in the mail. And now I can actually call them quarts. I don't have to say milliliters or whatever. I've got 2 quarts of resin from ZYLTECH. So it's clear. And I've got 6 bottles of dyes, which you can't see them. Well, there you can, kind of. I've got a blue, a green, a white, a black, a red, and a yellow. So I'm going to be doing a couple videos here real soon. I was going to start it today. I might start it later on using their different dyes. I've never worked with dyes and resin, and I've never tried their resin out. So I've got not 1, but 2 bottles, and it's made in the USA. And I think the reason they probably put them in these type of oil bottles is for the simple fact it probably saved them a ton of money. And on the side where you normally can see how much oil is in it, it has a black piece of tape that covers that. Obviously, you can't let light get into the resin and it'll cure it. So, but yeah, they came today and they were well packed in bubble paper, you know, really tight in a box, and UPS dropped them off, and that's pretty cool. So, but I've never got to try out resin, especially out of the USA. No companies have sent me resin to try out. ZYLTECH has, and that's awesome of them. And their dies, so I can print some goodies. And I got a whole bunch of stickers here. I got like 6 or 7 ZYLTECH stickers that are really cool. Yeah. When I first seen it, when they came out with it quite a while back, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago, that's what I thought. It looked like motor oil bottles, and that's probably what the containers were at one time. But Dave over at Printed Solid, his big giant spools, if you guys have any of his filament, those are welding spools that you would use on a wire feed welder in your garage. They're very super heavy duty. They got the double rings inside, and that's what he buys. And the reason for that is saved him a ton of money, because, you know, if you got inventory out there, we can get a deal for your company that's used for a different purpose and you can adapt it. That's perfect. And they're super heavy duty spools, not rules. So what's everybody doing today? Did you just get off work, or are you printing something, or what's going on? Oh, also, I got something else to mail. I burned up all my affiliate money, and I've got 2 easy light boards from TH3D Studios, version 1.2. I'm going to put these in both my CR10s. I just started a video yesterday putting those in. And I got a couple of their micro SD cards or 4 gig cards out on their site that I'll use with those. And that's also another video I'm working on, getting that installed. So that's a couple things I'm working on. This camera that you see me here now, it's on a big flexible wand, and I got a Logitech Brio camera right in front of my monitor. So sometimes if you see me do this, I'm trying to look around the camera to see what's on the screen. In the past, I had my camera mounted on the monitor, but then I'm always looking up. I'm looking straight ahead and not up at the camera. This way, when I read text, it looks like I'm looking straight at the camera. So, what's up, Red Light? How's it going? And I don't know, did I ever put an invite link in there? If not, here it is. Anybody wants to jump in and hang out? Here is an invite link. You're welcome to come in, hang out, chit chat. We don't talk about politics, sex, or anything like that, where it's basically about hobby printing, CNC, laser, you know, anything to do with your hobby that you're working on, or things like that. I just got off work trying to start up a 1.5 day print for the neighbors. Cool. Well, I hope you're charging any money. You know, your neighbors, great to have neighbors, but you got to make money off everybody to keep your hobby going. Hey, Jim, headed to work in 5 minutes. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do random weekly hangouts like this. I started like a week ago or something like that, and it lasted for like 4 hours. Then I've done another one for 3 hours. So I'll just randomly go live. And then once a week, I have a special guest on based on their schedule. The guest that I have on, usually Wednesday at like 5 o'clock, but the times change. All depends. So I see we got quite a few people on, 70 people we got here on Facebook. Okay, on YouTube, I see 8 people watching, 8 viewers, and on 1 person on 3D printing and painting on Facebook at the moment. But if anybody has any questions, you want to talk about anything, if you want to jump in and hang out and talk on screen on camera, you can. If you don't want to show your face, you can have an emoji. I'll just hear your voice and I won't see your face. But if you jump in and you don't have a camera or a mic, well, then that won't work. Well, thank you for your service, and I'm sorry that you're disabled. Whatever happened to you, I'm really sorry that happened. And I hope that you're able to get through it, and, you know, happy printing is all I can think to say. But if you want to hang in, Brody, and come in, you're welcome. Marcus, Jim's going to work. I know every time I do a live stream, I usually stream for about an hour, then a bunch of people that I know in the community over on YouTube usually start popping in. So we'll see how many people pop in. Or they might just be lurkers and want to watch to see what I say next, or if I mention them. But everybody, I get along good with everybody. Everybody in the community is wonderful. So, and whenever I get real busy, I always read all the comments. I try to post them on the screen, answer questions, but based on who my guest is on my live stream. Sometimes I miss them. Then my wife will come in from the bedroom and yell at me, my director, and say, "Hey, such and such asked you this or asked you that," and she tries to screen things for me. I'll see that in a minute and I'll post it. Al Jolly. I have a Elegoo Mars, original Elegoo Mars resin printer right now. That's what I'm working with. Hey, Dan the man, how's it going, buddy? If you got a minute, you're welcome to hang out. And if you don't, you know, you can just hang out and chat. It doesn't matter. You know, now that I'm doing this hangout thing, I'll be here for a bit. Yeah, the new Saturn that Elegoo came out with, when I get my taxes back, because I screwed them up back in February 1st, I missed a document by 1 day, and then that really screwed everything up. And then this thing happened to everybody, so I'm still waiting to get my taxes back. But when I do get them back, I'm going to set aside enough money I can buy the new Saturn from Elegoo Mars. I mean, the build plate is like 3.5 build plates of my Mars, so that'll be cool. I just hope that the screen doesn't burn out fairly quick. You know, you do a bunch of prints, and then next thing you know, you're spending an arm and leg for another screen. But I really want to get a great big photon, or whatever they call them. I forget the name, but I want to get a much bigger one. But they have different versions of that big giant printer also. But I think the one I want that most people are working with in the community is around $2,000. And I'm not a big enough channel on YouTube to ever get something like that for free to do a video series on, so I'd have to buy it. Unless when I get the money, if they give me a huge discount, if I do videos, and that'd be cool too. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out. Anycubic Mono 4X4K. I haven't watched any videos on that, so I'm not too familiar with it. If it's good, bad, or otherwise. I know I really like the Elegoo, and I haven't looked at any other companies other than a Photon, or I've looked at it a little bit. Yeah, the Saturn. A friend of mine, Jared, here in town, he just bought the Saturn, and he's printed a couple things on it. He printed the little castle like I did in FDM a long time ago. He showed the little castle about yay big on his Elegoo Mars, and then there's another one about this much bigger that he printed on the Saturn, same model. It looks really cool. Andrew S., how you doing? It's bigger than a Saturn, but a bit cheaper. Okay, I'll have to look at that. That's the Anycubic. Okay, I'll look into it and see what I can find out about it. If you'd like to jump in, Andrew, you're welcome. Yeah, I need to be working on a couple videos. I need to get my video going for my ZYLTECH and all the different dyes, making some goodies. I'm looking for a few good things. I know that Joel just released a video where he's got a safety Joel on his video. I downloaded that. I reshared his video over on my Facebook group, and I'm going to print that in resin. And then I'm going to do it in FDM a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to do some other goodies. I have a lot of people on my group that post for miniatures that they do on their Patreons. So I'm going to look through some of those and contact one of them and see if they'll give me some of their miniatures. Because, you know, if I plug them in a video, they're probably, I'm almost 100% sure they're sure, what do you want? So maybe I'll print some minis in different colors. So anyway, because typically when I plug somebody, whether I'm printing it and showing it off everywhere or throwing them in a video, they usually give me whatever I ask for within reason. So when it comes to STLs. But I've got so much stuff right now backed up on my hard drive. I haven't asked anybody anything for a long time. And then a lot of times when people want to post to my group, they'll offer things to me. But you know, at the moment, I'm not receiving anything or asking for anything. So, and I'm finally glad that I got some resin. So I can do a resin review, because I've been reviewing filament for quite some time from many different companies that I print with, but I've never got any resin from anybody. And then ZYLTECH hooked me up. So that'll be cool. So I'll make them a nice video, and maybe some other companies will see it and go, wow, he got some free resin, or he did this, he did that. Maybe he can do that for our company, and then I get more resin. So I don't see what the big deal is. A lot of the filament that I review, some of it's spendy, some of it's not. Resin's all right around the same price. So whether you send me resin or filament, you're still at about the same amount of money. Everybody that just popped in, did you see the door that I just posted that I bought for my next project? Here's my back patio. This is an enclosed underneath my house. When I bought the house, this was part of the house. And then I added the patio and a pergola outside of that, which is 10 by 20. I'm going to put a wall up right there where you see that line on the ground where the table is. And then I got a door that I'm going to put in it. And here is a door that I just got today that's going to go in the wall once I get it framed up. I'm going to build the door frame, build the wall. I will sheet the wall on the outside. I'm not going to stucco it. It'll be bolted to the ground, the ceiling, and the walls. And then I'll have that door in it right there. And then I have to put in a bigger doggy door for my 2 doggies. Because my 2 doggies are that big. That's how big they are. They're kind of like medium-sized dogs, and they're not going to fit through that little tiny door. So first of next month, when I get my pension in, that'll be another thing I'm working on. Thanks, Jim. Have a good day. Have fun at work. Anyway, I got to open up my water here. I got some tea I'm drinking. I buy these packets at Walmart. Great value. This one's sweet tea. They have a lot of different flavors, and they're really good. And they're really good in water. So I always take a drink out of the water so you can shake it up properly. That way it's not clear to the top. And a lot of these water bottles, the caps don't seal properly. And while you're doing this, you start getting water on your hand. Anyway. I came home this morning and came in the house before I was getting ready to feed the dogs. Then I had to run to the restroom, and then I'm in the bathroom and washing my hands anyway. And I heard a crash in the kitchen. My newest dog decided to get her dog food off the bowl, off the counter that had wet food and dry food mixed, and it went everywhere. And she's in there eating it. So I got to teach her not to get stuff off the counter. She needs to patiently wait till Daddy can give it to her. I'm a fan of the water flavored stuff. Cool. I'm not sure who you are, Facebook user. I can't see your name. You'd have to click that URL above the video if it's there. And then when you post a comment, I can see it. But if you want to type your name in chat, that'd be awesome. I'll show it on the screen. Because people on YouTube can't see what Facebook types or vice versa unless I post it on the screen. But since I showed it, you'll forever be on YouTube. As long as I'm alive and my channel's around, that video is going to be there. And I'm only 57. I'm going to live to be at least 100. So you guys got to put up with me for quite a while. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Here we go. Let me pop a link on the bottom there. So. And the buy me a coffee and a PayPal link are not below because I add them after the video. So I better just turn that back off. I never went on YouTube and edited all this beforehand. There you go. Maker Mike Turner. How you doing, buddy? I know who you are. You're famous. You do some really awesome work. And an awesome piece that you have out there floating around. I can't think of her name. Oh, God. What's her name? The chick from Alien where she's unzipping and pulling her change in. I can't think of her name. Ripley. I believe Ripley you had commissioned. And that's the one that everybody sees on all the groups that people are painting awesome. Hey, David. How you doing? Bird Hobbies. How's it going? SBC 3D. See, people are popping in. They got an email or they seen them on Twitter. Anyway, just doing a Friday afternoon hangout. I should be working on a couple videos, but I really don't want to start taping right now. I got some stuff to get going in resin. I'm installing 2 TH3D easy boards in my 2 CR10s. So I got to do that. And like Timothy says on his site, read the documentation first. I almost made a boo-boo, so I'll be sure to change a couple things and make that very clear in a video about reading the documentation first, because I almost made a huge mistake. Yeah, Ripley. Yeah, I get really forgetful, and I'm such a TV and sci-fi buff. If it's been out there, I've seen it. But if I wait 6 months to a year and I pull it up on the channel, I'll start rewatching a season of something, and then after 4 or 5 episodes, like that sure looks familiar, but I've already watched it and I forgot about it. So I know my mom, she had dementia, and she could watch this. It's sad to say, but she could watch the same show over and over and over, and I don't think she remembered it. So. Maker Mike Turner and Hobby Mike. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You're the electronics guy. Well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to mix you up. I do know your name and I've seen it, but yeah, you're right. I'm getting you mixed up. If anybody would like to jump in and hang out, you're very welcome to do so. Here, I'll put the link back down there. Anybody wants to pop in and talk about what they got going on with their hobby, or 3D printing, laser, CNC, if they're in their garage and they're tearing apart hard drives and motherboards, that guy is welcome to come in whenever he wants. Red light. And I'm close friends of his and have been on his site, though. Okay. Yeah, I was on a live stream with Mike in a hangout on Dan's channel a while back. He popped in for a little bit. I don't think he really likes being on camera much. A lot of people aren't comfortable with it. I know it took me a long time. I got a fly in here, damn it. It took me a long time to finally get on camera, but once you get comfortable with it and get used to it, it's no big deal. Just go live. It's cool. When I do, like I mentioned before, whenever I do my weekly live streams and I got a guest that pops in and we're chatting and I'm getting ready to go live and I hit the live button, I start talking. Sometimes like my back gets tight, and my adrenaline gets going, I get kind of wound up. I like being nervous. I don't know why, but whenever I do a hangout like this, it doesn't bother me. Just start it and start talking. Yeah, I was into VR and playing a lot of games on my computer, quite a bit. Elite Dangerous, for instance. And then I wanted to print some models from Elite Dangerous. And I wanted to print a Stormtrooper helmet from Star Wars. And then I got a 3D printer, and I've been into it for over 3 years now. I rarely play that game in VR. I rarely get on my computer playing games. And I'm just consumed by what I'm doing here. And now I've got too much. I've printed hundreds of models, and I've just got way too much stuff. So Etsy, here I come. It's just a matter of sitting down and setting it up, taking pictures and putting stuff up on Etsy to sell things off, painted or not. I mean, there's certain things that I printed and painted I don't want to sell, and I don't want to have to reprint them. I mean, so there's some things I'll just keep and sell others. And if things have damage on them or they don't look quite as good as they would, then I can discount them, and the people can buy them as is, and they can fix them, modify them, putty them, whatever. TH3D flex plates work excellent. I have them on almost everything I got. And if I don't have a flex plate, I got their blue mat, but I did buy enough flex plates for everything. It's just a matter of putting them on. What's cool about a flex plate is that you're not getting your scraper, hanging onto your bed and jamming it underneath the print, trying to get it off, and you're getting everything out of whack. You just take off the flex plate, put it back down. You never have to worry about a wheel issue, a level issue, screwing something up. You're not being forceful with it. Yeah, the truck sims you're talking about, I have a couple. I have a steering wheel setup. I've got a shifter for a semi truck that I bought. And I know the guy's name, FTG that streams a lot. I used to watch him a lot before he got really big. And occasionally I drop in and he still remembers my name. And yeah, he's doing a lot of truck sim stuff. He has a lot going on. And he's in like Nebraska, I think he is. And I live here in Las Vegas. Microtech, how's it going? Harry Book, thank you. Anybody wants to drop in and hang out, you're welcome to. Hey, Llama. I'll put the link back down here if anybody wants to come in and hang out and chit chat. And every time I do a hangout, they last 3 or 4 hours typically. Most of the time when I hang out, I talk to myself for about the first hour, and then people start dropping in. Don, the German 3D printing nerd. How you doing, buddy? But the link is down there if anybody wants to drop in, hang out, and we can chit chat about your hobby, your whatever's going on in your life about 3D printing. No politics, no sex, none of that kind of crap. So just hobby type stuff related. Yeah, I forget the name of the company that I bought my shifter knob from, but I told FTG about it a few years ago, and he had went and bought one like it. And since then, he's upgraded to something really fancy, but I forget the name of the one I bought from. There was some, I don't know, I don't remember where it was from. Mr. Llama, let me show you a picture here. I was showing everybody my patio that I'm going to enclose. See, here's a patio I showed last week. It's right next to me outside underneath the house. I'm going to enclose that. Well, I found me a cool door this morning. I picked this up for 110 bucks off of OfferUp. And there's a mini blind inside the glass that you slide that doohickey at the top and it opens and closes it. Then the doohickey on the side, you slide it down, it raises the blind. And the doggy door down below is too small for my two dogs. So I need to put a bigger doggy door in it. But that was a good deal. The guy wanted 130. I offered him 80. I wound up getting it for 110. He wouldn't come down to 80 bucks. But it's a nice door. They're like, I don't know, 400 bucks new. They're pretty pricey like that. And I'm drinking tea with a T in this bottle. Remember, I was on a job site in construction a long time ago, and I was cleaning up around the tower crane or around the crawler. A big crane has tracks on it. They call it a crawler. And I'm sitting there talking to the driver, and I got a trash bag, and I'm picking up some bottles. And I had a bottle of water in my pocket that was Gatorade. It was flavored, and it kind of looked like this. And I threw it on the ground so he didn't see me. And I went up and I picked it up in the trash. And I'm picking it up real carefully, looking like, ooh, oh my God. And he's kind of freaking out. Then I take off the cap and do this. And for a split second, he about fell out of his seat because we all know what that looks like. But anyway, it was tea or whatever flavor Gatorade it was. It was, had that color to it. Dixon Hoffman. Hi, Jerry. I caught you on a podcast on Neary's YouTube. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's done a simulcast. He was broadcasting. I was broadcasting it. I think on my channel, I've had like 100 views right now. And then when on his channel, he's had like 400 or 500 views so far. So it's good exposure for both of us. He's an awesome guy to talk to. He seems to retain everything he's ever learned. And no matter what you want to ask him about, he seems like he knows everything about everything. Real funny guy. I done a hangout with him for 5 or 10 minutes. It was going to be whenever I have somebody on weekly, I chat with them in advance for 5 or 10 minutes. I can talk about what questions I want to answer them and let them know how I'm going to do things. We talk for 3 hours. So yeah, he is a great guy to talk with. Great man. Yep, that happens to me, Don. I get broke every month. My pension don't pay all my bills. So to support my hobby, I have to find other ways to make money. But it's just like somebody that smokes that always wants to bum a cigarette off you. If I can't afford to buy them, then I shouldn't be asking other people for their cigarettes. So I have to find a way to come up with my own money. So in order to do that, I need to sell prints. And thank you for the Facebook like from Maker Mike Turner. Thank you very much. Yeah, please like, subscribe, share the live stream. Every little bit helps me out. So I'm just trying to grow the channel. And if I get accepted to be on Earth, their virtual show, that'd be really cool. I can kind of do a walk around in my room. I'm sure if they accept me, I'd probably only get a few minutes. They're going to have so many people on there. Maybe, I don't know how long it lasts. Maybe they'll get 5 minutes, but we'll wait and see if they accept me. So that'd be cool. That's cool. He quit smoking. Yeah, I quit smoking 6 years ago now, and I vape. That's my alternative. I was smoking 2 packs a day, coughing, gagging, hacking, et cetera, and it wasn't getting any better. So I went to vaping. Of course, vaping is bad for you. It's not like as bad as air is perfect. Vaping is bad. Cigarettes are worse. But anyway, since I started vaping, all that coughing and gagging went away. Food tastes good, and I don't have any problems anymore with breathing. It's not good for me, but it's not as bad as cigarettes. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, and people that are dropping in late, upcoming video. I've got 2 quarts of resin, and since they are in what look like motor oil bottles, I know that they're a quart. I will call them quarts. I got 2 quarts. And I've got 6 little dyes. I've got green, blue, white, black, red, and yellow. And one of the first things I'll probably print later will be a safety Joel. Joel just done a video on a little safety hymn. I'm going to make a little safety Joel in whatever color, print some goodies so I can make another video. And then I got my other TH3D board to install. I got 2 Easy Light version 1.2, I believe. Yeah, of Tim's board. So they're going in both my CR10s. I bought an SKR Mini 1.3, and I put that in one of my CR10s. In Visual Code Studio and Platform IO, I was trying to compile the firmware. There was something that I was missing, a file, so a couple friends of mine on YouTube tried to rework the firmware for me, and neither one of them could work on get it fixed. It wouldn't compile for them, so I gave up. I used my affiliate money I had saved up for a long time with TH3D. I got 2 of his boards, and I'm going to take out the brand new SKR 1.3 version 2 Mini and put that in the box and put it back on the shelf, and I guess that'll be for something else. So anyway, that'll be quite an upgrade. Yeah, all I can suggest, Don, if you don't have the money to buy resin, is just save up and wait till you have the money. So, yeah. We all have different needs for different things. Yeah, if you're talking about the source code for Marlin for that board, Big Tree Tech has it in there for the Ender 3. They don't have it for the CR10. So I downloaded that example, and I was going to compile it, and then I could just change the build size for the dimensions on the bed, but I couldn't get it to compile. Couldn't even find the damn compile button to compile it. So a couple of my other friends on YouTube that have been doing this much longer than I am with Marlin worked on it, and they were having all kinds of issues. And one guy that had been doing this forever couldn't figure it out. So the next day I said, don't worry about it. Screw it. I'll just get me a couple other different boards, and I pulled it out. So I'll end up putting that board in a Ender 3 or something at some point. Yeah, 1 bottle a month, that's good. Print out a model here and there, and print out a little FDM here and there, do a little bit of painting, do other things. Just live within your means. Do what you can afford to do. So. Yeah, and then Llama, that board that I told you that back in January, I couldn't return to Amazon, that I had it too long before I installed it. I did get a hold of a rep on Facebook and explained it multiple times, and eventually, instead of them refunding me $23, they're going to mail me another board. So I'll get another 1.3 board. Maybe it'll be a mini V2, I don't know. Or they're going to send me exactly like the one I bought, I don't know, before. Then I can throw the other one away. Because when I hooked it up, the screen wouldn't work. I tried a screen from ZYLTECH and a screen from Ender 3, and when I got it hooked up, the screen wouldn't come on. I couldn't get a screen out of it, so I believed it was a bad board. And that's when I was building my Hypercube, the 445. So I wound up putting an SKR 1.4 turbo in it with a touch screen. It does both modes. I haven't used a touch mode, but it does work. I'm just using a standard mode like on all the other printers from Crowley. Well, I've been streaming for 40 minutes, so I've got another 30 or 40 minutes, and then people will start popping in. That's typically how it works. Anybody watching on Facebook, when I type this in chat, well, I don't think you can see us on Facebook, can you? When I type in the link to jump in, can people on Facebook see that? Or is that only popping up in YouTube? If you want to share a video off YouTube, is that what you're talking about? If so, just highlight the URL up top and hit copy, and then just drop it somewhere. But on here, you won't be able to post it unless you were to take out a couple of the links on the URL. It won't allow you to post it. I'm seeing your name, so you're on the. Okay, you're not seeing the links. Okay, all right. Not on Facebook. Let me go to Facebook and I'll post it. Hey, Mr. Llama, how you doing?
What's up? That's so cool that you're getting a new board, man.
Yeah, 2 of them. And I almost done something really stupid. Timothy says in his paperwork, be sure you read this documentation before you install it. His other board, or no, the CR10 board, to plug in the Easy ABL or the filament runout sensor, you plug into the LCD header. And then you plug the ribbon cable into that. On this board, if you do that, you'll fry it. You can't do that. So you definitely have to read his paperwork first. So I put it in. I haven't turned it on yet. And then I read the paperwork. So now I need to edit my video and make that real clear in it. And I'm going over to, let me go to my group real quick and I'll post a link for Mike or anybody who wants to hop in.
Yeah, I found with a lot of these companies. What's up, Danny boy?
Hey, Dan.
If you politely shame them on social media, and what I mean politely is don't go, oh, it's a piece of junk, you guys do it. If you go, oh man, it didn't work, kind of sucks, what do you expect though? If you're nice about it, they will often, replace it or do something. Like I said, I mean, they saw my video and I was like, oh, well, I burned up my freaking Big Tree Tech. It's obviously not my fault, but it's out of warranty. It's more than a year old. And they're like, oh, we'll send you a new one. Send us a copy of your Amazon bill. And they did the same thing. They sent me a new one. But they sent me drivers and everything. They sent me all brand new drivers. They sent me like a whole kit board, like everything all in one.
When I was talking to her, I said, don't worry, I'm not going to do a video and I'm not going to tell the world about what happened here. And then a couple days later, we kind of worked it out and she's mailed me one.
Nice.
Thanks.
Oh, boy. Chicken cooking. Cooking a chicken.
Chicken in the pan?
Not in the pan. In the oven. In a big glass dish thing.
I've got the link there on Facebook. If you want to hop in, Mike, we're going to be on Facebook watching. If you click the link above the video, then I can see your name on Facebook. Otherwise, just as Facebook user. But you're welcome to pop in, hang out, talk about 3D printing, your hobby stuff, or anything in that, like
yeah, that. No. I have found if like I was saying before, if you politely mention that, you're having an issue and you do it politely, but make it sound like a bummer. I mean, I had Apple, my mother's, she had the big laptop there, what the hell they call it, iBook Pro or whatever, but back like 2010, before that, like maybe it was a 2005. Warning, they may start talking about 3D printing at any time. Yeah, pretty much all 3 of us will go there.
Yeah. The guy I bought the door from this morning, I gave him a card talking about 3D printing. So I talked to my doctor about it, everybody.
Yeah, my mother's laptop was like 6 months past warranty. And they're like, well, send it in. We'll take a look at it. And I'm like, well, it's kind of a lot of money to ship it. And I know it's busted. I know it's wrong. It was known to have the ribbon cable that if you open and close and open, close and open, close, the ribbon cable would snap. And they fixed it in later models, but, is what it is. And it actually shorts out. The problem is it shorts out the motherboard. Anyway, Apple's like, well, we know you're financially strapped, blah, blah, blah. We'll ship it, put it in a box. If you don't mind, if we can't fix it, we'll use it for parts and, give you $100 towards your next Apple purchase or something. We're like, cool, whatever. It was a couple years old. I mean, it was a $3,000 laptop. It was their biggest estimate, but it was, it is what it is. You can't bitch about it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, like 2 days later, we get an email. This. They had like a list. These are all the things that are wrong with it. We were like, oh, well, that's way above and beyond what we're going to pay. Kind of didn't even respond because we figured they'd just, trash it. 2 days later, freaking UPS dropped it off, all brand new. New screen, new cables. They even went so far as to put like the little rubber feet on the bottom of it. Replace all those. They give us a big long list of stuff. They said, plus we're giving you another full year warranty. It's like a brand new unit.
I've never heard Apple be that nice lately.
Yeah, and here's the other thing about Apple. Apple, if you call them and you just buy a product and you say, oh, it's busted, they'll repair it. They're okay. If you buy that stupid extended warranty, oh my God, do they kiss you your butt. The minute they hear you've spent that extra few bucks. And here's the real trick with Apple. If you go on Apple's site, not that everyone needs to buy Apple because they don't, but if you go on Apple's site and you scroll all the way to the bottom and you hit that little refurb, every single one of their refurb products is priced $10 less than buying it new with the Apple Care. So if you buy the refurbed one and get the Apple Care, you're $10 less than brand new, but now you have the whole Apple Care. And Apple's one of those companies, and like Samsung and there's a couple other quality companies that if they sell you something refurbed, you will often find it's better than the new because they absolutely do not want that thing back.
The only thing I was unhappy about when I ordered these two boards from TH3D, I only got one sticker and one Smartie. Come on. These are the most expensive thing I
You
can
get one per box, dude, not per product.
Yeah. So I figured I would have got more. So whoever was packing, I don't know who the packing person was, but if you get a bunch of products, you should get more than just one Smartie and one sticker. But it is what it is.
Tim's products are generally pretty good.
Yeah.
If I can afford it, I mean, some of the stuff's a little pricier because it's better quality, like anything. If I can afford it, I get it.
Made in America.
I have no use for the board because I don't have a printer that would even go on it. Well, yeah,
Designed in America, made in China.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's designed in America, but made in China. Tim outsources the boards
but
to China.
It is made to his specs. It's a thicker board.
Again.
And you'll get great support whenever you get a hold of them because you bought their board.
Yeah. He goes the extra step when they're making his boards too, when he designs them.
Yeah, he does four layers, four layers, 2-ounce copper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 layers of 2-ounce copper on the boards so that this way they don't require heat sinks.
Yeah, I've never had an issue. Other than I told you, I almost made a mistake. He says in the paperwork, be sure you read this documentation before you do anything. And I hooked up my filament runout sensor and it plugs into the LCD header for the screen and the little breakout board. And I hooked it up like that, but I hadn't turned it on yet because I'm working on a video and I went and read the paperwork. It says, do not do that. So I need to change that and explain that in my video. Read the paperwork before you do anything and explain what has changed and why it's changed.
Yep. You guys were sitting here talking and it got me thinking I need to unload this filament on this one and get some PLA loaded on there. I want to print something on this one because that's actually got the TH3D board in it. I just got to get it, make sure it's leveled out and get a PLA that's not a little wet.
I got to go grab my fly swatter. I've got a fly in here and I hate flies. Give me a second. Keep talking.
Dinner's already being made. Stop.
So Llama.
What's up?
You know what this is, Llama? Do you know what this is? Oh, I dropped it, but do you know what it is? It looks like a razor. I know, it's that razor thing I showed you yesterday. You were like, it looks like a razor.
It does. It looks just like my father.
It looks like the old school razor heads. Yeah, the ones where you like.
They just handed me my father's old razor. I'm like, why
Yeah.
do I want Dad's old razor? Well, can't you
Yeah.
do something? It's like, no, I can't even sell it. It gets a law to sell the damn things.
Yeah, nobody really wants them.
Very issue.
But this would be what it's for those who are curious. If you vape, that's all it is. It's just a little stand to hold your tanks.
You know, that's so funny. That looks like a little baby grenade or something.
Yeah, nope. It's just a little tank that holds all the liquid. See, and then that's.
If I screw the top.
See,
there isn't much left but gorilla bread or monkey bread cooked in a crock pot. It's awesome. It just takes like 20 minutes to prep it, but it's really good, Mama.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I used to make something similar to that. I think that's monkey bread is a very generic, sweet crap mixed in bread thrown in a crock pot that everyone. It's kind of like goulash throughout the country. Everybody's goulash, no matter where you go, is different. And that's one of those foods I gotta say. No matter where you go, it's different. It's still awesome. It's basically noodles, tomato sauce, and a little hamburger or other meat mixed in. Other than that, everybody makes it a little different, and it's awesome. I love goulash. I don't know why. It's just like watered down macaroni.
I don't know if anybody else has ever had this happen, but like I picked up the lovely habit of vaping again for the CBD thing, and I bought this one. Okay. No sooner did I buy this one, I have it and I show it. Well, here you go. Not that it's really a big deal, Jerry. You vape, so I know you're okay with it. But this is the Aegis. It's the Geek Tech, or the Geek Vape Aegis Max is this one. And then I turn around and Buddy sees me, so he sends me this box or this mod, and then I turn around and I acquired this one. So for some reason, and I don't know why, but as soon as I took up vaping, everybody's like, "Oh, here, have a mod." I'm like, all right, so now I'm going to collect some mods, and that way I can start kind of playing around and mixing my love of 3D printing and vaping, and maybe bring attention to both. Why not?
My landline that went through the washer and washed, it dried out and it works.
Oh yeah,
the exact same phone, dude.
Oh, yeah, I've got 3 of them. They were good.
Right there. Literally the exact same color and everything.
Yeah, I put them away for 3 or 4 years because I got rid of my landline, and then when I kicked my speed up on my Cox to Gigablast, I hooked them back up. I just bought new batteries for them off Amazon.
I still have a landline. I prefer a landline when I'm like talking to someone. If it's texting or a quick hi, how you doing? The cell phone's fine, but I still prefer it. Landlines are cleaner, clearer, cheaper.
Yes, I won't argue that point, Vert. I would have to say, like, I'm using the Zeus tank with the mesh filter in it, right, or with a mesh in it right now, and I've got another Zeus tank coming. The other Zeus tank I got coming actually has coils, so I can do either mesh or coils depending. And the coils are obviously rebuildable, so that was the reason I went that route. Was like, this way, if shit ever hits the fan, which come to find we got a couple of years now, but yeah, I like the blue on that one. Which one is that one again? That's actually got the screen up on the trigger there, huh?
Smock mag grip. It's just like a gun grip. It feels like a gun grip.
Yeah, this one's a smock.
This glass is very thick. It doesn't usually break.
Yeah.
I just tip the top and unlock it.
Yeah. You got new headphones, didn't you, Dan?
Huh? Oh, the headphones? Yeah, these are the ones that Bob Carnes sent me a while back. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. They're clearer too, because your other ones every time you moved would crinkle because the switch.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why those. I think I ended up giving them to one of my kids just for headphones. Oh, Jerry's got stickers.
These are the ones I got 10 of them for $9. But since Robbie Mack made me the new banner, Sticker Monkey, I think it's called. They had a special that you've seen recently where you get the holographic stickers.
Sticker Mule. Yeah,
50 for $19 or something. Yeah, Sticker Mule.
Yep.
I ordered 50, and then I used my wife account and ordered 50, and then I used my dog's account and ordered 50. So I should have 150 coming. I should. I paid one of them through PayPal, and they haven't processed PayPal yet. So when they do, I'll have 100. Then I'm going to get your name, Mama's name, everybody's name that I know, and I'm going to mail everybody a sticker. And then when I run out of people to give them to, then I'm going to start selling them for $1 a piece.
I got your business card as a sticker you sent me.
Yeah, well, I'll send you a sticker as soon as I get them in the mail. They should be here on like the 23rd or 24th, and I'll start mailing them out to everybody.
They were really quick with me. Mine, I had them in like less than a week. And they're good quality. There's another company hitting Facebook real hard, just kind of, like Sticker Mole. I think they're Sticker Duck or Sticker or something. Same idea as Sticker Mole.
Yeah.
And they're giving wicked deals too. I'm thinking about hitting them just because they're wicked deals.
Sure, no problem.
Oddly enough, Vert and TK, I have asthma and I have early stages emphysema, and this sounds weird, I know, but like I started vaping for the CBD because it gets in your system quicker, and for me it's a throwback to when I smoked, so it's kind of that, it gets rid of that mental thing, because even now, I mean, hell, I quit smoking back in 2007, and even still now, like I still have the hand to mouth thing 13 years later, so that's why you always see me snacking and munching and eating shit, because like I'm always doing the hand to mouth. It just went from cigarettes to food. And
people are here. See you, bye.
Yeah. Later, bye.
Yeah, years ago, I used to subscribe to Playboy years ago, and I got a call one time from them when I dropped my subscription. They wanted to talk to Jack. And I said, well, Jack can't come to the phone. And she goes, why? I said, he's my dog. He don't talk. And the lady about fell out of the chair on the phone. So anyway. Yeah, I went incognito, and then I used my incognito, and I think I said Sandy. I had my same billing address and stuff, but
yeah,
they have a special that I can only buy 50 on the special, or you or anybody, but they didn't say my wife couldn't use the same special to buy the same sticker, nor could any other family member. So I still paid the same way. It's just I used other names.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
I emailed them. They said, no, you can't do that. Or they said, no, you can only get 50 for yourself, and we'll give you a discount, blah, blah, blah. So I figured, fine, I'll just use somebody else's name.
Well, I'm dropping the link in chat if anybody wants to kind of take the deal. It's the Sticker Mules deals right now. So
yeah,
if anybody's interested, you can click on that and go. It's right there at the top of the list. It's the custom 3-inch by 3-inch holographic stickers. You get $19 for 50 of them right now. So if anybody wants stickers and they want holographics, there you go. Yeah,
it's only like a 3 or 4 day special. And like I said, the quality here, I've got these other ones that were when they were doing the 10 for 9. They're good quality. These are die cut. They're nice stickers, and it has my logo on it. But since my logo changed it a little bit, and I got FDM, resin, CNC, and laser at the bottom, I've got a new sticker coming out that's round. And then I'm going to give them away to everybody that I know. I'll mail them to you. And then after I give them out to everybody I know, then I'll sell the rest for $1 a piece. That way I'll reimburse my costs.
Yeah.
Or my Patreon. Maybe I'll give them out to people on Patreon with other things. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Be incentives on Patreon to get more people over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I at some point here I plan to get some stickers done because everybody's getting on me about having some stickers, but
Well, I have business cards, and I mailed Lama one. He took Scotch tape and he taped it on his enclosure in his Hypercube, and I've mailed out a few cards, but I need to mail out stickers. But stickers obviously cost a lot of money. They're a lot more money, so you got to keep looking around to get a good deal. But typically, 100 stickers is like $80 usually. That's usually like the going rate.
Yeah.
So you got to find a deal somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Let's get this plastic swapped.
If anybody wants to drop in and hang out and talk about 3D printing or resin printing, laser cutting, anything like that, I just posted this. If you're on Facebook watching, if you scroll up, I posted on Facebook also. There's a link you can drop in and hang out. We don't talk about politics or sex and stuff or anything like that. And if we do accidentally, we'll try to back away from it because I don't want to go there.
Yeah, no, politics is not one of those things that we like to talk about because politicians suck and so does life sometimes. No, just try to avoid headaches. That's what it is. I agree with Jerry on that one. Certain headaches are not fun to have, and that's one of them. So we talk about printing and other things. Like I'm swapping out filaments right now so that I can print something on my TH3D controlled Ender 3 Pro. Let's see. You know what? I'm not going to wait to heat that one up. I'll just leave a tail and not lop it off. There.
Yeah, hanging out is hard to do because you might have stuff around the house you want to get done rather than sitting in a chair, unless you just want to work in your room and have it in the background.
Yep. Nope.
I get distracted too much. If I start working on it, I can't really pay attention to chat. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, and I want to tape what I'm working on, so I can't do that and be hanging out too.
Yeah, that's kind of why every now and then when I'm like, if I'm not streaming and I'm not on somebody's stream already, if I pop into a stream, that's usually what's happening is I got something going on in the background and I'm just kind of listening to whatever he's doing while I'm working on whatever it is I'm working on. Like right now, if I wasn't chatting with you here, I'd actually be doing this and listening. So, because this is one of those things I've been trying to do. I've been wanting to get this system dialed in since I swapped that board out, and I'm the king of procrastination. So sometimes it takes me forever to get stuff done.
Yeah, Maker Mike, Jim from the EduTech has been doing a lot of laser stuff on tile and some kind of plastic film.
No, he's been using spray paint. He'll spray paint multiple layers of one color, multiple. He
On
prints
tile.
so many, on tile. He'll spray paint a certain color, then he'll spray paint another color over that and another color over that, so that this way, as the laser burns through, he'll go through the different colors to bring out different, like a different layout on the print.
There's another video he's coming out with where he's on some kind of, he done this picture of his baby where it's on some kind of a plastic, so I'm not sure what that is yet.
Oh yeah, he's been playing around.
From Country 3D, he's been burning a lot of stuff on cork. My wife ordered 4 from him, 4 coasters, say Alabama this and Alabama that. My wife's in Alabama college football.
Yep. I was going to say, I saw that Walter was getting into the he's getting into the laser as well. It seems like that's the swing now, is as everybody's kind of moving over to laser or building their like CNC. You building a CNC.
I've got that out in the garage, mostly printed CNC, MP CNC. It's 3 foot by 3 foot. It's about 9 inches up. I've done a couple videos on it on my channel, but I don't have the firmware done on it yet. I haven't got back out there and finished firmware on it. But that'll be noisy and loud, and I can make some cool things out of plastic and wood. I plan on selling signs and or doing a bunch more videos on it. So anyway, I got a lot of different little projects going on. It's just lack of funds to complete them because my credit card is maxed out. And then when my mom passed away a handful of years ago and we sold her house, I took that chunk of money, paid off all my debt, paid off my $10,000 credit card. And guess what? Nitpicking, buying this, buying that, doing this, doing that. It don't take long to run it back up to where you can't use it again. So anyway, and then medical bills on top of that. So anything I sell or do or income that comes in, I try to apply everywhere. So I'll make a decent amount of money on my pension, my retirement, but my insurance and house payment eat over half of that up. And then, the other bills are just gone. So.
Yep. There was a file I downloaded the other night. At least I was pretty sure I downloaded that I wanted to print. And now the problem is I didn't leave it up on the screen and leave it minimized, or I didn't already go through and how am I trying to say here? I didn't slice the file already and then upload it to Octoprint. So now I got to sit here and go through my folder of files and try and figure out what the hell that was.
The coolest U.S. state-related gifts I've seen in an oven mitt with a Michigan map on it.
Because that's kind of funny. Because the whole like thumb is the part on the the northern tip there, and then the rest of it's here. So
yeah, whenever I save a file and I slice it, it goes to my download directory, and then I just have Octoprint. I open up that directory, click it, and it uploads it.
Yeah.
A few people in dragging and dropping in Octoprint. I've never done that. You can grab the file and just drag it across the screen and drop it.
Yep, that's what I do whenever it doesn't want to cooperate with me. I'll just grab it and drag it and drop it. As long as if you drop it on the left side of the screen, it drops it right to the Raspberry Pi. But if you drop it to the right, it'll actually save it to the SD card on the printer. So I don't know.
Well, everybody in chat, let's make this interesting. Ask us some questions. We'll do our best to answer them. Otherwise, we just kind of sit here and go, duh.
Yeah, because I'm sorry I'm spacing out. I'm trying to find this damn file. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so bad.
I'm glad you guys dropped in early because I usually sit here for an hour by myself till people show up.
Oh, well, I had just gotten home from work and I was sitting here and my wife was like, yeah, I got to run into town and pick up, it's our weekend with my, my youngest son. He usually lives with his mom, stays with his mom. So it's his weekend to come here. And she said that she was going to go pick him up and she was going to take the daughter so she could run to the store and get some things that we needed. And
I have not tried the Creality camera. They did not send me one and I'm not going to order it. And I don't know, Brian, have you tried it, Dan?
Nope, they haven't sent me one, and I'm usually, I would have to say, for the most part, I'm usually one of the last guys would ever get asked to review anything or take a look at anything. I did get lucky there for a hot minute now that Slice is already announced and put it out there. I did get a chance to try the Slice, their nozzle paint.
Cool.
I did get a chance to check that out beforehand.
As you grow and get bigger and the more you pop up everywhere as you are now, things just happen. It takes time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's where like, I was kind of happy when, Slice reached out to me and were like, hey, we got this stuff that we're doing. And, we wonder if you wanted to check it out. I was like, yes, I want to check something out.
My advice to TK or anybody else that does live streams and nobody's watching, first off, don't watch your chat. Pop out your chat, close YouTube completely, because if you realize nobody's there, you're going to start to not want to talk. And since that stream is going to be posted, people are going to watch it today, tomorrow, next week, in 6 months. You're going to have all that dead time doing nothing. So pretend like there's 100 people watching. Just don't look. Just pop out chat, just talk, and don't pay attention. If you want, well, don't turn off chat, because when somebody says something, you won't know it. But yeah.
No, but leave chat open, but just look at the screen and talk. If you're going to start streaming, it doesn't matter how small the thought in your head is, blurt it out, say it. This is like it can be kind of therapeutic if there's no one there, to be honest with you, to like just sit there and turn on the camera and start talking. If there's no one there and you're just talking, it's kind of a nice release for you to get the things out that maybe you wanted to talk about and nobody wanted to hear it. You can just say it. And if down the road somebody watches the video later and they respond in chat or something, or not in chat, but in like the comments and whatnot afterwards, cool. They may it may be one of those things where they decide to start watching more often, and then they see that you go live, and then they come into the live chats, and you may be able to grow it that way. So don't take nobody watching as a deterrent.
I've got a Logitech Brio TK. I bought it a few years ago. It does 1080p or 4K. We are streaming in 720p right now because you have to pay for 1080p on StreamYard. Unless you want to try it free for a week, they'll let anybody demo it free for a week. But I'm in 720p. When I tape my videos, I just load up OBS. My camera's on a big, long swivel with an alligator clip. I can position it where I want. And then I just start talking. I hit record in OBS, and then I edit my videos accordingly. And I also have a Canon camcorder over here that does 720p that I used to tape a lot of my videos in. And I thought it was 1080p and it wasn't. So that's why I moved over to the Brio to do all my taping.
What he said. No, actually, when it comes to cameras and me, currently I'm using a Logitech C920 right there. I have a couple of Wise cams that are hooked up over there. At best, I can do 1080, 30 frames. No big fancy cameras because I haven't done a lot of production. And if I do something, just use the old cell phone.
Cool, Marcus. Yeah, I have an Iwata 2 airbrush. That's a cheap one I bought with a compressor, and then I got an Iwata. I forget the model number, but it's a common one everybody's using. 3D Print Viking, how you doing? If you'd like to hang out,
on, Viking?
Here is a link. And if you can't, I understand. I know Viking hasn't been popping up lately anywhere.
He's been spending a lot of time with that missus of his, and I don't blame him. He spent a lot of time in lockdown not being able to see her, and now he's able to get out, so I'd spend more time with her than us too.
Yeah, I know one guy that's pretty good sized on YouTube, and he films everything with his iPhone. I guess all his videos, everything is done on iPhone. That shocked me. I figured he had a camcorder, a camera, something else, but he didn't.
If you're talking about who I think you're talking about, yeah, he uses he's got an iPad that he uses. If you're talking about Chuck,
no,
or Shep,
no, Brian Vines.
Nope. Oh yeah, Brian Vines. Yeah, you got Brian Vines is that, and then you got
Galaxy
yeah.
S10, but I've never taped video. I've done a couple short clips of my paint station that I put on my Patreon. I use my cell phone for that, and my intro on my Patreon, I use my cell phone. Yeah, I've got a C920 on a little tripod over here. I use that for close-ups, or I will cut the camera, take the one I'm talking on, I'll bend the rod over to look at whatever I'm looking at, and then I'll film with that through OBS. And if you go on YouTube, there's many people that explain how to tweak OBS to get the right settings for doing different things. There's a few different people I'm subscribed to. That way you don't have to try to figure it out for yourself. YouTube has everything. There's always somebody that did everything. It doesn't mean that everybody on YouTube knows what they're talking about, but there's enough content out there that you can watch different things, and then you read the comments below the video where people say this or say that, and you can determine based on all of that what's happening.
Yeah. Basically, if you ask YouTube, everybody will tell you they're a pro at everything. So just be careful with that one.
Dixon Hoffman, you're welcome to jump in. I put a link down there. Just click on it and we'll pop in. No sex, no politics, or you'll get booted and everything's good.
Yep. It's his stream. He knows what he's talking about. I'm just here hanging out.
Yeah, whenever I want, I can go over to Dan. I can do this to Dan. See, now he's talking Chinese. His mouth moves and he's not saying nothing. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I work construction most of my life. I was a delivery driver. I'm a handyman when people hire me to do projects for them. I can do anything, but I can't rebuild a transmission. I've never done a tranny, but I can do pretty much anything on cars, houses, electrical. I can do anything. I'm not an expert at nothing. I'm pretty good at everything. I used to ride a Harley. I've kept many bikes. When I retired, I wanted to get a really nice Harley. But here in Las Vegas, there's too many idiots that run fucking stop signs, red lights, and they kill people on bikes every week. So I'm sorry I can't ever ride again because somebody would run into me, and it wouldn't be my fault.
Yeah, wonderful part about Vegas. Crazies are everywhere out there.
Yeah, you click on the link. You got to accept your camera and mic. It'll give you like a thing where you test it, and then you join stream. There he is. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
How we doing, sir?
Hi.
Mute your YouTube, and you'll be able to hear us through StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a feedback or something.
Yeah.
You're watching on YouTube and StreamYard. Just turn off YouTube, or.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got a couple big screens here. I got to get rid of this. There we go. I think now we're good. I had to hit the mute on my big screen.
We make everybody bigger here.
Oh yeah.
So what are you up to? Are you printing anything cool?
Not right now. I'm all my machines are for production use usually, and I'm a little slow right now, but I'm always tinkering around with different things.
Mm-hmm.
My farm I was up to 12 printers, and now I'm back down to 7. I can do what I need to do with 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly production parts, and you can see I started this 10 years ago, and I got shelves all over, like with printed stuff. My little TV up there, and I built lasers. I got 2 lasers in the basement I built 20 years ago, and a CNC, and all kinds of stuff.
These hobby lasers are coming out with where people are burning into cork and plastic, things like that. Is there anything that's reasonably expensive that would etch metal, or is that a whole different ballgame?
That's a whole different ball game. You gotta usually use a spray chemical, and then you can etch metal real good.
Okay.
It's called marks, I think. You put that on metal. And,
okay.
I've done very little bit, but the 40-watt laser that I built, that works awesome for a lot of different things. And then I couldn't fit the big pieces of logs in my 40-watt I built, so I had to buy one of them Chinese lasers, and now I can move that thing where I need to do. So I can move it on one section and do a farmhouse or whatever, move it over here and do the ducks. Cool. It really helped a lot. It's just a cheap $190 laser, and I was using Gerbil in that, and then I modified it myself to be a little bit better software. And then I stumbled on that T2 laser software. That's awesome stuff. So I bought that for $50, and now that made Gerbil and that stuff look silly.
So for somebody just getting into it, other than it's extremely dangerous, nobody can look at the laser, especially your animals. Is there anything that costs $200 or $300 that you might recommend to start out with, or what power of laser to go with?
Yeah, you should get either a 5 or a 7-watt Chinese laser, and you can get. There's another one out there now that I have a different one I bought years ago, but there's another one, Orchard or something. That's a real good laser,
Mm-hmm.
and you can burn. I have clocks here. And, the first thing I burnt was that. I'll get that piece right there.
All right, I got you on full screen.
Yeah, you're saying is it Auteur, right? Or Auteur?
Yes, that's it. That's it. I built this. This is the first thing I burnt.
Wow.
With that cheap Chinese laser, and it's all works as. I own a sign and decal business and a 3D print farm, and then I usually work about 50, 60 hours a week. So I'm pretty buried. That's why everybody and their grandma says you should have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And I don't have time, and I suppose I can't complain because that's sort of a good thing, you know.
Yeah. If you're in business and you have no free time, that means you're making money. Right?
Yeah, my best month was August, and before I started the full blown thing, I used 21 rolls of filament in August, so I had a good month there making parts. But for fun, years ago, I started this 10 years ago, and I make all kinds of stuff like this. Is actual TV that works.
Wow.
And the quality, I got my printers tuned in, man. You know, they say what you want. I'm an electrical engineer, so I could set it all up, but everything is just smooth as glass. I got them tuned in.
It's nice.
And you really only have to level a printer. If you don't move them, I level my printers maybe twice a year, if they need it. But I'm using all glass mirrors and hairspray. And I only got to touch up maybe every 20 prints, I touch up with hairspray. I don't wash it, and then maybe once a year I'll wash all the plates.
I should have answered that call on stream and put them on speaker. You guys would have loved that one. I guess there's the new scam now is it was a guy. It was a robot voice that said, "We're sorry," or "This is an apology call from your electric and gas company. We're sorry to, or we're calling to apologize because you were overcharged on your gas and electric bill, and you're going to be receiving a rebate for a refund for the overage, as well as a 30% discount on your next power and electric bill. Press 1." And I was like, okay, first off, it would come up like I got Ameren here is where I'm at. So it would come up and say Ameren, and Ameren would call me directly, and someone would be on that phone. It wouldn't be an automated thing saying, please just click 1 to talk to a representative to get your refund check. No, that would be them getting your account information so they can take your money.
Yeah, Dixon, Red Lights wanting to know what printers do you have?
You'd get a kick out of this, Jerry. I started when you couldn't buy printers. So
you got a couple you made, huh?
Yeah, I built,
Nice.
I'm looking for the photo here on my phone. I had it on here. I started my printer, and I copied, the UK printers like Joe Prusa is the one that that.
Oh yeah.
Here's I had 7 of these. I built 7 of these when I started. And it's
nice.
the old threaded rod, and that's it. It's all rough. Yep. And I had 7 of them, and that started my business. And then I was one of the first ones that got the CR. I still got the original CR10s. I have 2 original CR10s, and they pumped up. Even I did not have to change any parts on it yet, wheels or anything. And then I got a CR. The money makers are the 2 CR10s, the CR3, or Ender 3, the Ender 5. I do all my holograms. I do all my holograms with my Anycubic. That's strictly, I got that tuned in.
Where do you live at?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas. And Dan, you're in Illinois?
Yep. Or as I like to call it, Shillinois, because they'll take money for anything around here.
Yeah. Lithophane, I've done a few of those.
Yeah. I started those back when hardly anybody was on YouTube with lithophanes, and I got it down to a science, and I actually started sliding them like a slideshow in my TVs, and I sell those. But I started making a pile of night lights, and I was getting $20 a piece for those.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I was doing good on those, and now those slowed down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Everybody and their grandma is doing it now.
Yep. I was going to say that was my Christmas present to everybody, or my wife and I. That was our Christmas present to the family this year. As I made some lithophane light boxes, and then I 3D printed the box, 3D printed the pictures, and then just went on Amazon and bought like a puck light and just stuck it in the bottom of the box.
Exactly.
You know,
all this stuff I did a long time ago, but the resolution is just freaking awesome. You know, I had these things tuned in, and then came when they first came out with the CR10, and I seen that the first day years ago, I thought, holy crapes, that's a cat's meow. I'm an electrical engineer, so when I seen they're using just wheels riding on on the
rail,
on your rails and that. And then they got UHMW wheels, and they got we use that stuff. What do you call it again? We use that down at work, all that rail.
The extrusion, the 2020.
There you go, 2020 and all of that.
Yeah, you got your 2020, 2040.
Yep, 40, and they 15, came up with 15. That stuff, and then I seen that design. I thought, now you're talking. Now you can get rid of that shredded rod stuff. And
yep, as soon as that extrusion, as soon as they realized what they could do with that extrusion, that was kind of like the big blow up in the market, because you can get a nice rigid frame. From a fairly lightweight part. And
I've never heard of doing a lithophane on resin. I've never tried that.
I was going to say I'd seen somebody did a lithophane out of resin, and it turned out damn good, but that was, back when resin was a thing, and nobody's really done lithos on resin that I've seen.
I've got it. I've got TVs up there where you can slide different lithos in, and I do it with resin. I'm telling you what, think these lithos are nice? The resin ones I got are just spectacular. I got LED lights in the TVs, and when you turn that on, I'm telling you, it looks three-dimensional.
Yeah.
I got that resin down perfect. That regular gray, I got an Elegoo.
Yeah, Elegoo Mars.
Yeah, and I had to buy that because I started doing some production gears, and I had to have something
real fine.
Little gears. I had to draw some gears up. These are oddball gears.
Hold on.
You can't. But these gears are special gears. You can't buy them anywhere. I drew this up, and the top gears are tilted 2 degrees, and the bottom gears are tilted the other 2 degrees, the opposite direction. And I had to get a resin one because I need to hold this quality on these gears.
And
it's just like, holy crapes. When I seen how, 5 microns, I'm thinking, holy shit, that's what I need.
There's been people mixing resins lately, and I've seen an Iron Man mask. A guy did a video where he dropped it off a ladder, he dropped a sledgehammer on it, and it's not brittle because a lot of my Elegoo the Mars resin that I have is real brittle. And now I'm using ZYLTECH, I think it's called.
It all depends how long you leave it under the UV light.
You go over cure it, it'll make it brittle.
Yep.
And then I got ZYLTECH resin here. I got 2 quarts I'll be testing in a video. I'm saying quarts because they're in oil bottles.
I see that, yeah.
So give that a try.
I just have a sonic cleaner, and I just use simple green, no alcohol, and my parts are coming out awesome, especially the lithos. But if you want strong stuff, I learned years ago how to print with nylon. You could take a nylon part and pound it with a hammer, and you will not break it. I'll go downstairs and get a nylon part, and I'll hit it with a hammer right now, and you will not break it. The only thing is it has a little too much flexibility for when I'm making certain parts for manufacturing. I can't have that flexibility. So the PLA is nice and strong, and PETG is really nice and strong, but PETG gets a little more, it's like glass.
So
yeah, Marcus, my film, I use a PTFE oil, 3-in-1 oil from Lowe's, and I put that on my FEP on both sides, wipe it off, and I've never had anything stick. No suction problems on my resin printer.
See, the only thing I ever used, I have these guys always emailing me questions. Rain-X. Yeah, I got the original. I have the original FEP sheet on my my Mars, and never had anything stick to it yet.
So spray it, wipe it off, dump in your resin.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Rain-X is the cat's meow when it comes to that. I work for this big printing company, an electrical engineer, and I do a lot of programming. And I found a roll of material down there they were getting rid of, And I'm not kidding you. It's a big roll. I brought it. They said, sure, take it home. I got a slip for it. I took it home, and I'm telling you what, when you peel the laminate off, that side is sticky, and then that clear flexible part, I swear I didn't get a chance to test it, but I think it's identical. I'm going to talk to the chemical engineer down there. I think it's the identical material as that FEP. And if it is, that roll has got to be worth about 10 grand for what they're getting for them sheets. But I didn't get a chance to try one yet because my original one is still working good.
Yeah.
Well, you'll at least know how to recover your small investment, because then you say you had to buy it, or was that they just told you take it and get it out of there?
No, just take it. They were going to toss it. They got they got giant roll piles of it, so I took it home and I peeled it off because I thought, boy, if that doesn't look like brittle like FEP. And so when this one goes out, I'm going to cut a sheet off, put it in there, and see what it does. But it sure looks like the same chemical composition.
If it is, all you got to do is just start. You can do custom order on that, and
that's what I was thinking.
You can do custom order, cut them, and ship them out. And I mean, hell, there's definitely a nice way to turn well, who was it? Gary Vaynerchuk liked to use the word freemium way back in the day. That was his big thing. He used to say everything was a freemium. You get it for free, and you can make a premium.
The person in chat that gave me the thumbs down, thank you very much. Interaction is interaction, whether it's thumbs up or thumbs down. We appreciate it. And comments or no comments is all appreciated.
Said it once and I'll say it again. Any interaction on YouTube or anywhere is better than no interaction, because it lets the algorithm know that somebody's watching.
Yeah.
So if you think that giving a thumbs down is a bad thing, thank you.
Yeah. Jerry, do you remember the first Star Wars with the speed bikes?
Yeah.
When I built I'll get it off the shelf. It's right behind me here. I built a 12-inch speed bike, and it flies really well. About when I first built my 40-watt laser, about 15. It's got to be 20 now. I always think it's
a little longer than you think. The old speeder bike.
This is the first thing that I test ran with my laser. I seen a drawing, and I went off just a 2D sheet, and I drew up the parts on my speed bike, and this thing flies awesome. But this thing has got to be 15 years old. I always wanted to make one 36 inches long, but I never had the time. This has the CC3D board in it, and so you got to really know how to fly it, because it's not like the new ones right now where you got the GPS and all that. And
well, I would call that a quadcopter. Do you call it a drone, or do you call it a quadcopter?
It's either or.
Yeah.
Drone, quadcopter. It's just
that is really cool.
Yeah. This is made out of a door skin sheet. Threw it with my laser, and I drew the parts up on CAD, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to cut these out and see what it turns out to be. It flies great, but if I get rid of the board and put the newer upgraded boards with the gyros in, I mean, then this thing would be so stable.
How did you figure out how to balance it? Just trial and error, moving the figure around until it felt right?
Yeah, I built a lot of giant scale planes. I have a DC-3. My favorite one is a B-17 bomber. I have that hanging up in the garage, and so I've been in the RC business for since I was 20-some years old.
I've got David Petzel on next week, and he's into a lot of airplanes. He owns a restaurant. You probably heard of David Petzel.
Yeah.
Petspang over on Thingiverse.
Yep. Yep. Heard of them. Yep. Back when we were flying these drones, that's sort of what wrecked it. Now anybody can fly them because of the computer and the processors. But back when I flew this and my other drones that I have, the older ones, you got to know how to fly them or you're done in a few seconds. But now you don't no longer need that. I have a big drone up there, Holy Stone. It's a copycat of what's the JDIs or whatever, the biggest company. It's a copycat for half the price, and now I can just push buttons. You don't have to know how to fly it.
Yeah, SDM will never die. Prototyping, training models, it'll always be around.
Yeah.
There's resin. Eventually, we'll probably get into liquid metal at some point, but it's not going anywhere.
No, FDM printing ain't going to go anywhere, just for the simple fact that it's always going to be the cheaper alternative. I mean, even if resin becomes the more popular option, FDM is still going to be the more cheap, or is going to be the cheaper alternative, and it's going to be for those, like, for instance, like right now, you can get into FDM printing for $200. You can buy a printer, you can buy filament, and you're printing it for $200. It may not be the greatest printer in the world, but it's a printer and you're
Hey,
making
Dr.
shit.
Jekyll, how you doing?
You don't want to hear what I paid for my CR10s because that stuff all came down in price. I mean, that was way back.
Oh, I'm sure you probably paid about $800 for them when you
Yeah,
bought
the
them.
original CR10, the very first ones, I paid $700 for 2 of them. But shit, the first PO paid for all 12 of my printers. You know, it depends what you're doing.
Yeah,
People,
I
I know 90% of the people are just. It's all right to have fun and do all of this, and a lot of them are just printing these toys and that. But they, a lot of them say you can if you know you can make a lot of money with them.
Yeah.
It depends, I'm doing a lot of it for the company I work for. They got a problem, you engineer it, draw it up and say, here you go. And all of a sudden you got to make 50 pieces. That's where it's, and then that spreads around and all of a sudden I'm getting, I get emails from a different company that wants prototypes of something. And it's like, before you know it,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
I'll have it done this afternoon. I want $100. It works out
Yeah,
nice.
that's cool that you can print everything out and have it right there that fast. You don't have to design it out of metal and mill it and all that.
I'm telling you what, this technology in these phones. I was eating breakfast and 8 hours later, I had the piece done. A company called me, a plastic company I never knew, and they says, "Hey, can you do this prototype for me?" Well, it would have took them 3 months years ago when we did a prototype. You got to send the drawings to a machine shop, blah 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 blah. 3 months later, you got it, and then you got to make a change. Well, I had it done that afternoon. This was early in the morning when I got called for breakfast. I had it done, and I delivered it to them, and they gave me the $100, and all of a sudden they called me up and says, "Hey, can you tweak these 2 ends on this?" And finally, I tweaked it and printed another one and gave it to them. And then they says, "This is what we're looking for." And I says, "By the way, what is this for?" Here it was the jig that goes on the backside of a big extruder, and they took my part and gave it to a machine shop. They made it out of stainless steel, and they melt blow these blinds, all these blinds you have in the house.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, something that happened in 3 days usually would have took 3 months.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's the difference. It's crazy with the technology. It's just crazy.
Brian says, do you know of a 18650 case for in the go? Something to print, I mean.
Well, Ryan, I'm not sure what you mean. Like, are you talking about like 18650 case, like a two cell case to kind of print to take with you for like with your vape and stuff? Because if that's what you're talking about, jump on Yagi, type in 18650 case, and just go nuts. I would say go to Thingiverse, but Yagi is better because Yagi searches like Thingiverse.
Hundreds of sites, yeah.
Yeah, it searches anything with anything with a large STL repository. Good chance they're searching it. So all you got to do is just get on Yagi, type in 18650 case, and just go nuts, man. You can find them where you can pay $1, $2, $3 for the STL and it's yours, or you can find them for free all over the place, depending on what you're looking for.
Here's my hobby room here. If anybody's never seen it before, this is the room I'm currently talking in. It's the largest room in my house, and it's my hobby room, and I'm going to expand and close my patio.
Well, it was the largest room in your house. Now it's the most consumed room in your house.
Yeah.
You got all your stuff in there, Jerry.
Yeah, I've got a 2-car garage, which I have junk in and tools and equipment. And if I ever wanted to move out there, well, first off, I got to find somewhere to put it. And then I've got to have an air conditioner and heat, and then my bills are going to go up. So I'll just keep everything in the house and then close my patio.
I don't think you guys have.
Vegas.
Do you have basements there in Nevada?
No, not here.
Yeah,
No.
see, I didn't think so. Yeah, my whole shop is in my basement, which is nice.
I
especially
know
when winter comes.
in Illinois, Timothy bought his house, him and his wife, TH3D Studio, and it's as big as his house underground. And that is so cool to have all that extra room.
They're in Indiana. They're in Indiana.
They're
They crossed
Indiana.
over the border. Yeah, they just crossed over the border. They moved just out of Illinois. Trying to
here's a picture of the 3 different size TV sets that it's tough to see with the.
Oh yeah, those little TVs like
glare,
one behind.
yeah. That biggest one there, it works pretty slick. You can slide an iPad in there. That's what that is.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
That's neat. Yeah, like a TV I had when I was a little kid. And then when I was a teenager, when I got my first top-loading beta VCR, the remote control was on a 25-foot cord with a button on it,
Yeah.
Way before wireless.
it's so nice how everything changed. Like when I built my CNC, I built 2 prototypes, and then the final one, it's like, holy shit, they didn't have none of that crap. The best thing they had was I started out with Mach 2, but they didn't have, you can buy these kits now and everything, like that, what's that one store? You can buy all your rails and everything.
Oh,
I got it right here on my phone. You couldn't do none of that. I had to make everything open builds.
yeah, open builds. Yeah, that's what
TK, where are you from? Talking about your flat. I know the term. Is that UK? I know people use different terminology based on where they live at.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me keep this back up there. LOL, feel sorry for the people below 5 printers and a wood lathe with stone carving.
Oh, I'm one of those people below 5 printers. I have 2 that are, one that's functioning completely that I can print on, one that I'm bringing back to life, and then 2 that I got to build, and then one that I'm gonna completely gut unless somebody wants to acquire it from me. If they want to acquire it from me, they better have a truck and a trailer, because it's one of the old Dimension Stratasys, like the big ABS enclosed with the heat chamber, and it's got the cabinet underneath. So
yeah, all this cool technology is coming along now, and I'm 56. I don't know how you are, Dixon, but
yeah, I was waiting for it to catch up to my age. It's just crazy. I thought, oh, where was the Arduino board when I was 20 years old?
Yeah,
I'm 60 now, and it's crazy. But I still, all my machines downstairs I built them all. I built them all except for now it's the cat's meow. You can buy an Ender 3 for 200 and some bucks, $300, and it's like I don't have to do all the work no more.
Well, nope. I can see the end of the tunnel, and I hope I live to be 100. There's so much more stuff coming out in the future I want to see and want to do or build or have. We'll see how it goes.
Shit, I should have had some photos on my laptop. I'll show you what I've been working on if I would ever get time to finish it. This is what I'm doing now. Auto unload with robots, with a robot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm working on that. They talk about get lazy. First, it started, I monitored all my 3D printers from my phone with the Waze camera and blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
I had never got into Octoprint because I think it's over-engineered. I'm an engineer, and I'm telling you, the whole world is getting over-engineered, but I didn't get into Octoprint. So then the next step was I had a vacation about 4 weeks ago. I had a week off, so I took all my 3D printers, and I have auto shut-off on them now, so I don't even have to watch them. I just put the products on, but now I'm starting to work on the robot part, and that's another whole game trying to program there, because you got to give it a 5 second, you got to give it a 3 minute delay to let that bed cool down, because it'll stick and won't come off. And then once the robot finishes and gets to its last step, I got to send an output to the 3D printer to start printing the same part again, and it's takes a lot of coding and programming. In fact, people on Facebook see that, and it's like, oh, I want that. Can you make me blah, 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 blah. They don't understand how much time it takes to get that. Once it's going, it's beautiful, but, for making money, but it's the time it takes. And you talk about making, what were we talking about? Making, selling FEP. And it's like, I wouldn't have time if I could, you know what I mean? I'm not supposed to be doing this right now, but I thought, screw it, I got to take my time here. I don't have to be making money all the time.
Everything we used in 3D printing and resin printing was something else in the past, like FEP, or certain things you try to buy, it's really expensive. Somewhere out there it's used for another purpose where you can buy it cheap. It's just I haven't always found all the sources where to get it at, and I can cut it down myself. And then,
I actually went to the store, and the reason why it doesn't work because of moisture in that, when I was experimenting with nylon about 6 years ago, I actually went to the store and got weed eater plastic, and I tried to make the tip and make it work because the diameter wasn't what I needed, the 1.75 or whatever. All my tips are 1.75 because I need to get my resolution that I get to hold my specs in for parts I sell. And it's like, oh my God, you're right. It's all out there. It's just a matter of imagination. I always had a crazy imagination, so that was to my advantage.
Anybody watching on Facebook, if you click the URL above the video, when you go to type in chat, we can see your name and we can see who you are. Whoever's watching on Facebook is annoyed that you're walking and you're rocking back and forth.
Who, me? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on a printer. My bad.
No, I was talking about the rocking chair. Dick said.
Oh yeah. I can't.
Oh.
I'm 60 years old and I still can't. I can't sit still for 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Richard from the first layer quite often will be twiddling his thumbs. And I make a comment in the stream. I say, Richard, go the other direction. And he kind of does that like, what are you doing? You know.
I'm on a different podcast on Saturday nights, and it's like they say, "Well, it's okay," but I can't sit still. I got a hard time.
Yeah, I was sitting there at a fly swatter. I'm sitting there.
Yeah, I see you twirling. Yeah,
I have a pin or something, or you know.
That's then when I was younger, oh my God, I can't drink soda no more. But I'd be on Mountain Dew, and it's like, holy, you talk about the brain going crazy and dreaming up stuff. Oh my God, I could think of stuff, and it's crazy. But it's
working in construction for 35 years, and you're tired. I'd always drink Mountain Dews to help perk you up.
Yeah.
Now I drink Monsters once in a while. But
when I started out when I was 23, that's I was in the trades doing all the construction stuff, working for Valley Electric, M&J, all kinds of. I was in the union, so that's what I did. I did a lot of. I was a construction electrician back then, and then in my early 20s, I started reading up on computers and program processors, and I went crazy from there. But yeah, I hear you. I beat at the end of the day doing that kind of work. That's why I got into what I did, because I'd never be able to handle it at my age.
I'm a retired union laborer here in Vegas, working on all the big hotels.
Yep.
Water truck driver, forklift driver, core driller, cutting asphalt.
Yep. I used to be a mason chaser when I was an apprentice. Putting up airports, and I was a mason chaser. I had to cut the conduit, quick get all the receptacles and all that while the walls were going up. I got to get them inside the walls.
Yeah, my brother is a retired carpenter. My dad was a carpenter, and the carpenters would always kind of pick on the laborers about, look how much money we make. Well, guess what? I'm retired, and I have a much better pension plan than they do, and I'm doing good on my pension. I have more bills than I have money coming in, but I have a great pension where my brother doesn't.
Yeah. I knew what was coming. I knew about age. So in my 30s, I got real wise and started reading on processors and computers and all that.
Yeah, sorry. TK was leaving. Just wanted to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, no problem.
And I got another fly in here, damn it. The weather's supposed to get colder. Why are the flies coming back?
I had to get into the programming and all the computer and electrical end of it because I knew then it's not such hard work when you get older.
Yeah, I built a big 2-story garage in Frump a handful of years ago, and I obviously had to pull permits for everything and had to get all my electrical inspected, and everything was perfect. So I'm not a licensed anything, but I can do almost anything.
Yeah.
My brother.
You got to be careful at our age now. You got to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, my brother's afraid of 110 and without the breaker turned off. I can work with hot 110. Sure, it can kill me, but I'm not afraid of 110. I'm afraid of 220, and I'm careful. Yeah. Don't sweat because I've been zapped just being wet from sweating.
Believe it or not, but 110 is more dangerous than I used to do high voltage work too, and 110 is the most dangerous, and that's where most people get killed. And you know the number one way they get killed? Trimming bushes. They cut the cord. Yep, they're all wet in the grass. They're cutting bushes, and they cut the cord with the edge trimmer. And that was what we were told back in years ago in school, and that was the number one thing. The thing about the higher voltage is it'll sort of throw you, or the 110 you just stick. Like that's the problem with that one.
110, I've always got bit. I've never been anywhere where I couldn't let go. I just get bit. And makes you mad. But,
Well,
some people got different tolerances, and
220 lights you up a little bit.
I got the 277. I got it off the neutral one time.
Chris Travis, hello. If you'd like to hang out, Chris, there's a link there. You can jump in.
Jerry, what were you thinking for a laser? You want something that can really burn and do a little bit of cutting on thin, or
I only want to spend $200 or $300 and do coaster. Okay. I thought if something cheap might do metal, then I could maybe take my 3D printing tools and put my brand on them or logo or something. But a couple other people have told me I'd have to spend quite a bit of money. I just want to have it hobby-wise. I can make stuff to sell.
Yeah, you're better off going with a silk screen or something like that, or etch with a your CNC will do that same thing with a little diamond bit.
Okay.
But if you want something strong, then you go to that. I used to have a ZYLTECH laser, but they're $500. But they're a small laser, but they're the top notch. They're not from China. They're from a guy in Texas.
Right now, I'm not selling all this stuff that I have behind me. I don't have the revenue, but maybe at some point in the future, if I sell enough stuff, I might have more revenue to do something with in the future. But for now, I'm just going to want something to tinker with.
Yeah, I'm thinking on the same tracks. I'm thinking about setting up a store in that because I got so many items here on shelves I've been doing for 10 years for fun. You know, after I started maybe 3 years later, then I got into it where I was doing it for business wise. But it's the same here. It's just that I asked about Etsy and all that, and he says, you can't really. They take a lot of percentage. But what am I going to do with all this? I mean, it's a lot of neat stuff. The grandkids love it, but
Well, while you're alive, you might try to see what you can sell to recycle to help pay for your hobby.
yeah.
Because if something ever happens to you, God forbid, and you leave it, where does it go?
Yeah, my son, I'm into all this technology. My son, he's not into none of it. So it's sad to say, but someday it's just going to go in a dumpster. The printers and all the technology. I never bought one machine in my life or built one. It had to pay for itself in less than a month.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I'm not bragging. I got very lucky with the 3D printers. I mean, the first 2 POs paid for, everything. And the CR10s, it's crazy what kind of money they made me and just simple printer. And I have no high technology on it. I just level with a piece of paper twice a year and let them run.
Yeah. Marcus has a question for you. Have you ever done any computer controlled engraving?
Yes, but I'll tell you what, I'm one of them guys that I'm into technology, but I'm going to take the easiest route. So every tool's got a job. There's lasers are good for some things and CNCs are better than lasers. They got their spot. But if you start getting in etching, one good thing, unless you're going to etch with a laser on bamboo, like I got wood plaques and bamboo and stuff I sold in etch. If you're going to etch on anything else, you're better off using a chemical etch. But I've already taken tile and it turned out real neat. You can spray it with paint and do 3 layers, and you can make that laser go down to whatever level of paint you want, and it'll do a real nice etching thing. Just like what's his name, the chef showed on engraving with them cheap printers on tiles. He sprayed 2 layers of paint, and you can get them.
Jim from EduTech did a couple videos on that.
Okay.
Where he took a tile, he painted it multiple colors, and then as he burned down to each layer, he made some really cool pictures.
Sure. Yep. It depends what you're after. If you're playing around, I experimented so many years, a long time ago when I was getting into this, and I got into the programming part and all of that. And now it's getting so much easier. I mean, the softwares out there are crazy. I used to have to write the code. All my first 3D printers, you couldn't go and you take Marlin, and I had to customize the code for when I first built my 3D printers. I had to customize it all. I had a micro switch. They got all these touch probes and stuff. I had an actual micro switch that would swing down, touch the bed, and probe it in 4 spots. And my bed, with the coating, I could be off. I'm not kidding you. You could be off 1/8 of an inch with your bed tilted, and that thing would print perfect. Because it remembered the code. When I put it in the code, it would remember that grid, and it knew it was off 1/8 of an inch one way or the other, and the Z would compensate for it. And I could get beautiful prints. And then you start getting into the business end of it. It's like, hey, I don't have time. I need to get this going and go. The fun. It sort of takes some of the fun out of it. I'm actually swinging back the other way. I told my buddies on the Saturday Night Podcast, I'm swinging back the other way, and I'm looking at myself saying, hey, okay, that's enough. I've been working from 6 in the morning until 12 at night with this. And when I'm 60 now, when I turned 58, I told them, guys, it's time to start having fun again.
Yep. I see John Mack is hiding over on Facebook right now.
Is that John Mack? Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's the only one who calls me Internet Killer Dan.
John Mack, if you click on the link above the video on Facebook, we can see your name. Right now, we're just seeing Facebook user. And then obviously the people on YouTube can't see what Facebook is saying unless I put it on the screen.
Yep.
I watch you guys on YouTube and I start seeing, watching you thinking, okay, it's time for me to start having fun again. And so now I'm backing off I have a sign and decal business too. So I'm backing off on that and I'm backing off on this 3D printing. Now I just take the jobs, word of mouth, they come to me and I do them. And
I've got a great idea for you. If you ever thought about this in your shop, if you wanted to, you could set up a webcam watching your shop, have this live stream it, and occasionally when you had time, go over and talk to chat a little bit and just let people randomly watch what you're doing. And you don't have to interact with it much.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all of that. I got the software and cameras and I got all that. And I looked at what it takes to edit video and all of that. And it's like, oh,
you don't edit.
wow.
You just live stream.
Yeah, I know. And I'm looking at, I give you guys credit. It's like, holy shit. You want to put out a half-hour video once a week? You're going to be busted. You know what?
Just tell your people, don't do anything obscene. Don't pick your nose. You're being watched worldwide,
Yeah. I just don't have time right now, but I'm thinking about that, and I'm 60. I'm thinking about doing all that in 2 years. Yeah. I'm going back to having more fun and start 3D printing fun stuff.
Yeah, print for yourself. I mean, it's okay. The thing you got to remember is, and like I tell everybody, a hobby is a hobby till it becomes a job.
Yep, that changes
when it becomes
everything.
A job, it's no longer fun. So that's why with me, with 3D printing, every now and then I'll print something for somebody. Like the whole Christmas thing burnt me out, but out of it, I managed to convince my wife that I needed a second printer. So I couldn't really pitch. You know what I mean? Like I got my second printer out of the deal, so I wasn't complaining.
My wife would see just coming in the mail. She goes, "What are you doing now?" I says, "Hey, I gotta. It's gonna pay for itself in 1 week. I gotta get the production out. They can't wait this long for this many parts." So I just kept doing it, and then it's like it was fun. The fun most of the fun is getting there. Once you're there, then it starts getting But
guys, I am going to be listening in. Wife and kiddos just all came through the door, so I'll be listening in still. I may jump back on in a little while because Jerry, you've been going for what, about 2 hours? You got about another 2 hours left in you, I'm sure.
Probably an hour.
Wife's waving hi.
Nice to meet you, Dan.
Yep. Yes, Dixon. It was nice meeting you as well, sir.
You guys thank you, Dan. Take care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, StreamYard's a great program. You don't have to download it. You click on the link and you can go live that quick pretty much. And you have to have their logo on the screen. But if you want me to switch you, I've got a camera right in front of my monitor. So if I move you over there, now I can look at you. Now I'm behind my camera. So I used to keep my camera on the monitor and then I look at the screen, but I'm never looking at the camera. So now I've got it right in the middle.
Yep. We were using that first, and then we had to go back to Zoom because we couldn't get enough rooms for people, and they said they were working on the software so they can get at least 10 people in. So then we went back to StreamYard.
Okay.
We actually like it. We like that the best.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're used to, you're familiar with everything. The only thing I don't like about it is I want to have chat and my pictures up at the same time, the brand tab and the chat. If I want to show a picture, I can't see what people are saying in StreamYard, and I can't put it on the screen. I got to keep jumping back and forth.
Yeah, what's that? So there's a software you get where you can watch it all together. There's a software for watching Facebook and YouTube and all the chats. I can't think of what they use. I can't think of it.
My other screen, I've got dual monitors here, and on my other screen, I got chat popped out where it's real big.
Yeah.
I'm covering up most of my screen, so I don't see the delay. It's like 20 seconds delay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's too bright in here on my glasses because I have two 48-inch screens here that I use that are hooked up to my computers and that. But I do all on my laptop here. I do all that stuff with the cameras.
I'm sorry, BS Tech, that you're 74. When I was younger, everybody always wanted to be older. But now that I'm older, I don't want to be any older. I want to get younger again.
Yeah.
I'm 56. And I think you said you're 60.
Yeah. Now when I was younger and had to take a nap, I would cry. Now I cry because I can't take a nap.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Yeah, I can't at night. I watch TV during the day. I nod off quite a bit, and then at night when I go to bed, I lay there and I'm thinking about stuff, and I can't fall asleep.
Yeah, I can't. I haven't watched TV in years. My wife does, but I can't. I don't have the time. Anything I'm watching, it's YouTube to learn. You can never stop learning. It's crazy. My brain, at my age, I'm lucky. It just keeps sucking more and more information, which I like.
I'm going to jump back over to Facebook group real quick. If anybody wants to jump in on my Facebook group here, I'll post a link again. You find the video. Let's see, paste. There you go. So anybody on Facebook that wants to jump in and hang out, there's the link.
You know, we were talking about technology just to fill the time. We were talking about technology, and it's crazy. All these kits you can buy, these lasers, and you don't want to hear what I paid. It's like they call the 40K laser. Well, back then it's a laser like that, but I had to buy that because I needed the gold mirrors and the tube and all that when I built my laser. And it's like, jeekers, now you can buy that laser and get all that stuff. I gutted it out and I put my own software in there, and then I made it run on Mach 3. So I got switches on a computer I built that runs either my CNC or my Mach 3 laser, and it's crazy now what you can buy them 40K lasers for. I paid, and I'm very lucky because that tube, I am very lucky. It ain't like I'm laser cutting every day, but that tube, that's the original tube in there, and it's still working, which is, I don't know if I got lucky or what, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, but with the basic plan that I pay $25 a month, I can stream to both my Facebook groups, my page and my group. So the people on Facebook aren't subscribing on YouTube because they're watching on Facebook, and that's not going to help out my watch hours, but I'm getting more exposure. So I have to determine whether when I want to keep doing it that way or if I just want to stay on YouTube. So
hey, yeah, it helps. I never heard of you before, and I was watching Nerys, and it's like it's like, holy crap, yeah, I like this stuff, so I subscribed to your channel, and I just found you yesterday. I always watched him every week, and all of a sudden I found you. You guys did a podcast maybe 2 or 3 days, a Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was down at work at that time.
Oh, cool.
And it's hey, I like this, And
I'm glad he shared it the way that he did. We had both streams running at once.
Yep.
My channel, I've had like 100 views, and on his channel, he's had like 400 and something views. So it helps us both out.
Just for FYI, here's the laser, my CNC. I built the final. I built a couple prototypes. I says, okay, and I'll tell you what. If you look at these pieces, some of these kits you buy, they got crazy, too many parts, and I think I got like 20 some parts on this CNC, and that's it.
Dixon, they're wanting to know what BS Tech, what the podcast name is. Or are you talking about the live stream with Nerys?
I think that's what. How come I can't see the bottom of the chat?
It's on the screen there.
Yeah. What is Dixon's podcast name? Oh no, it's not my podcast. I'm not it takes a lot for me to get on in front of people. It's simply create wooden creations. It's Russell. What's his name? It's a woodworkers one, but we cross. It's a makers one. So it started out as woodworking, but we have a lot of guests on, and some nights we talk about 3D printing. But it's simply wooden creations. That's the podcast that we do Saturday night.
My great-granddaughter wants to know if you have a pony to show. She loves ponies. I've got a John Wayne horse I'm working on. That's kind of a pony, but let me see where that's at. It's not done yet.
That I don't have either. I have a lot of buildings, 50 caliber bullets, giant cookies that you can open up, and the grandkids, the thing they love the most is them octopuses. That's really nice. Holy crap.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of work, but that's going to be for a Christmas present for my wife's dad.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
So that's
it looks like the front end was done in resin.
No, it's all the same. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got good resolution. You got good resolution on there.
Yeah, sometimes my prints look perfect, and other times there's issues. So it's always.
You'd laugh if you knew what I was using for software. You'd laugh, but I can't change it because my resolution is so perfect. I'm still using 15.4. Mm-hmm. Everybody says, "What are you talking about? Don't you mean 5.4?" I go, "No. If you look up Kira way years ago, it's 15.4. That's the Kira version that I'm using." Yeah.
I used Simplified 3D for a little over 3 years now, and about 2 months ago, I got my first Ender 3 V2 from Creality, and I used their version of Cura, their Creality slicer, and I have never used Cura before ever. It's always been Simplified 3D, so I was like a new person in the video with all the prints, and they came out awesome. Everything great without changing anything. So
What are they up to now? What version was that?
I don't know. I'm not that
Uh,
into Kira.
I think they had bugs in a couple of them that they came out with. There were some bugs in it for a while, and then it took about 3 months, and then they got rid of them. But like I said, I have to stay with my old stuff because the specs I got to hold and with the resolution that I if it's not broken, I don't fix it.
Yeah.
So the only
Yeah.
time I would maybe jump on there, trying to think that other software I use. It's crazy how I'm forgetting things. If I got to customize a part and they have to drill and tap a hole or something, well, the new Kira, you can put certain blocks, like you can put a block in the center and say, I want this 2-inch by 2-inch to be solid, and then the rest be webbing. And that's what's real cool about the newer versions, where with my old version, you can't do that. Like if I have to beef a certain section up of a part or a piece, that's what's really cool about the new Kira. You can beef it up in certain areas and tell it to print solid in certain areas where you need that strength.
Well, it's just like a printer. People buy a printer and they get it, and before they even get it in the mail, what should I upgrade? Nothing.
Yeah.
Get it, learn the printer inside and out, and then and then do this or that if you need to. But learn the printer before you ever change anything. And then do one thing at a time. If you do multiple things at once and something screwed up, you may not know where to look at for the problem.
Yep. I was selling Ender 3s and that as I was making $100 on the Ender 3s because I was setting them all up for people and then selling them. I says, I'm going to charge $100 for doing all the work. Well, you get these guys, you know, and I understand they're not mechanically inclined or they're not into the same fields we're into, you know, and I've been trying for a month to level my printer. I'm thinking, oh my God, if you ain't got that level within 10 minutes, there's something wrong. You know, it's, believe it or not, I'll tell you, I never told anybody this. Them first printers you seen that I was building, at one time I was getting, you couldn't buy all these printers. They didn't have them. At one time I was making them and I was getting $600 a piece for them.
Uh-huh.
And it dropped out when China all their printers start coming over. It's like it just dropped right off. I built like 5 of them in a matter of a month, and I was getting $600 a piece. And just like that, all of a sudden, boom, that was the end of that. When all this stuff coming from China, and I thought, holy cats, okay, I'm getting out of that business. And then I thought, okay, I'll get these Ender 3s, and these are awesome. You know. I was talking to somebody one time about that and Joel Pruse's machines, you know. I says, hey, that's fine. You do what you need to do. But they asked me what I thought. And I says, hey, quality, excellent machine. But if I'm going to start a bigger farm and I need 10 more printers, I'll take that Ender 3 in 2 hours and have that printing just like his printer for half the money. That's just the way. I'm not going to pay $800 for a printer if I can pay $250.
Most of my printers, I have easy ABLs on them. I've never tried a ZYLTECH, but people that manually bed level, if you use a scraper, I use where's it at? Oh, here's my scraper of choice. Cost me $20 years ago. And for some reason, the name ZYLTECH, ZYLTECH spatula. It's paper thin. It's like a margin trowel using instruction, but that's a lot thinner blade. As long as you're not yanking around on the bed, bed's not going to be unlevel. That's why a flex sheet is perfect, because you take it off, pop the print, you never get around the bed, nothing's going to get knocked out of level. And most beds, if they cool down to 42C, most prints come right off, or you can tap them and knock them loose. Or
I have no scrapers at all, but people ask me, well, what do you use then, since you got a farm and you're making all these parts? I says, that's why I use mirrors and hairspray. But I said to them, you never take a part off your bed. I got 2 clips. I unclip it and then you pop it off. But I don't have to with mirror and hairspray, because as soon as it cools down, all the pieces come off. They fall right off. I said, then you start her up again.
My original CR10s, I have mirrors on. They're about a 1/4 inch thick. Out of glass company cut them and beveled edges.
Yep.
Took the original glass and threw them away, and I use that glue stick on those. Well, I still have glue stick on one printer in my enclosure when I do ABS. But once it cools down at 42C, they release.
Yep, they think I'm kidding when I say with my production machines, I got to level some of them maybe twice a year, if that. And I says, nope. I said, I'm telling you what. And not only that, if you don't know how to level, you get it close with a paper. Just do the test. When I first built printers years ago, I had the 4 coins in each corner printing, and you can see right away with the layers if the first layer, if it's any good or where you got to go up. I said, do it on the fly. I said, turn your printer on and it'll start printing them corners. And you can see right away which one's got to go up. Do it on the fly. Just turn it and boom, it's all level. It's good to go.
If you have baby stepping like with a ABL, then you can just adjust it in the firmware really quick and crank it down.
Yep.
Moving back and forth and trying to grab a wheel, you could do it, but that's kind of hard to adjust it with a wheel. But
yeah, I don't know. I can't say I never have. I'm a techie guy, but I never set none of that stuff up on my printers. I just level it with a piece of paper and let her rip. But I told them guys, they asked me, that can't be true. I said, I'm telling you what, I let my beds cool off and then you're not banging them. But I said, if I had to get the pieces off in a hurry, I said, I never ever tapped that bed in my life with that glass on there. I said, you have to take it off and I'll beat on it. Don't do it on the printer. I says, and you'll never have to level your 3D printer. You'll never have to level the bed.
When I first started printing, you could take it, if you were in a big hurry, you could put it in the fridge and the temperature change, it'll pop. Set on a cold countertop. I got concrete countertops I installed. Change the temperature, it'll cool it down quicker. Then put it back on, start the next print, and just add glue stick where you need to. If you can see, it's down to bare glass.
Yep, I always used hairspray because it's so smooth. You can just spray it, or I do touch-ups, called touch-ups if I have 10 pieces on a bed, I do a touch-up once in a while. You can see right away when the spray's starting to come off, and then I do a touch-up and let her rip again, turn her on. But the CR10s, I went to Lowe's right away, and I got the 12x12 mirrors, and they worked. Fucking, they've been on there since day one.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Not too bad, and yourself?
Yeah, I've seen you around on Facebook and YouTube forever, but I've never met you before. Oh, mute your YouTube there. We won't hear it. We'll just hear it through StreamYard.
CR10s, I went to Lowe's right away, and I got the 12x12. Yeah, I get the feedback. That's what was happening with me.
Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, and yourself?
Pretty good. Mute YouTube. Turn off YouTube, the speaker, because we can hear it running.
You got two screens up, and we're getting the feedback.
Yeah, I've spoken loads, but never had the guts to come on cam, really.
Yeah, mute Chris, mute YouTube. I can still hear it. Yeah, you can running somewhere.
You might have two screens up.
Or it could be Facebook.
You got two screens up, and we're getting the feedback.
That happens. Where'd he go?
Uh-oh. He'll be back.
All right.
Okay, where's he from now, that accent?
I believe he's in the UK.
Yeah, I love that accent. I could tell right away he's from somewhere over there.
He'll figure it out. He'll come back in. Yeah, that's happened to me. I went live before, and on one of my tabs, I had Facebook running in the background, or I had YouTube, and I had to start shutting everything down because I kept hearing myself. So, but it's nice meeting him. He'll be back in a minute. We'll put him back in. Anyway, if anybody in chat has any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll try to answer them. If anybody's watching, you can join right in. I'll repost it here on.
I'll be right back, Jerry. I got to get something, and I got to ask you a question.
Okay, not a problem. If you're still watching, Chris, we lost you. If you want to pop back in. Yeah, when I first started streaming, I don't know, I was into this hobby probably 2 years maybe, and I kept people wanting me to jump in, and I didn't want to. I was shy. I didn't know what to say, but once I did, I love it, and I do it all the time now. It's great. Takes a little getting used to just sitting there talking to the camera, but with all the social distancing going on, and I don't have many friends in real life anyway, all my friends are online, so I hang out and talk to people online. Chris Travis wants to know where you're at, Dixon.
I'm in Wisconsin. One thing a lot of people ask me, and I got to ask Jerry this, is they always ask me, you get such good quality, what's your favorite PLA filament? So I tell them I started buying ZYLTECH, and I got such good results with my settings. I like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I started buying some of their other colors, and it's just like, here's a 50 caliber bullet, and it's just like, oh my God, this stuff is nice. So I started 3D printing, and I stayed with ZYLTECH, and that's all I buy. So I've been buying a lot of rolls from them guys, and the quality is crazy. And this is what they're copper.
Very nice.
My question is, Jerry, what do you think your favorite filament?
3D ZYLTECH is excellent. I've tried a lot of brands. Most of the filament is the same to me. I print everything at 210 and 60, but a lot of the filament prints just like each other. But my go-to right now is ZYLTECH. I get a discount on it, and 3D ZYLTECH.
Okay. Yep.
So those are my two favorite. I have tried a lot of other companies, Hatchbox, which is like 25 a roll. I bought a lot of that before I got my first printer. And based on what color you're printing or what type of PLA, things print differently. Since I prime and paint most models, I don't really care for colors. And as of the last few months, I started printing more things in colors, doing different models and things. But I am able to paint. I don't paint very well, but I paint, so.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to try it, and I investigated when I built my first machines. I investigated all that dual heads and all of that, and my answer is it's cool if somebody wants that, no problems. For one thing, I never did like the waste block. You're wasting filament and you're waiting for the purge and all that. So what I tell them is, hey, I showed them some prints. And I says, look at this print here, a certain print. I'll show it to them. I'll say, okay, you can have a dual head and go through all these headaches, more programming. My thing is keep it simple. I says, or you take an airbrush and you do something for 30 seconds and you got the same results. A lot of things I'll do an airbrush or just a paintbrush and it turns out pretty good. I'm not a crazy guy that likes to paint.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And then getting older, I've got to wear glasses and have lots of light because I can't see what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And my wife says that I print too much. I've slowed way down on printing, but I've got a few hundred models that need to be painted that are just sitting around in FDM and resin that I need to paint. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, well, thank you, Chris. Yeah, but what I think happened, you had a screen open, Chris, or YouTube, and we were hearing the stream running delayed in the background. That's happened to me before. He's got to close whatever tab was running and only watch us in the StreamYard chat, because then you can hear us just on the one screen. And when I have YouTube open on my other screen, I got it muted, and I pop out chat real big so I don't watch myself 20 seconds delayed. So, but I appreciate you dropping in for a second. I do live streams usually twice a week, and then I have my Hangout. Well, I do Hangouts twice a week, and then once a week I have a guest on every week. Some budget paints. I started out with cheap apple barrel from Walmart is where I started out. They're like $1 a bottle. They're not expensive. Then I got on Amazon. I bought some Cretex, Liquitex, Army Painter, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Hobby Lobby sells a lot of good paints. When I go to paint a certain model, I run out and I order certain paints, and then over time you just build up a bigger and bigger collection. So, and then I rattle can prime everything. If it's too cold out, I have airbrush primer that I use occasionally. And based on what color you're going to paint the model, you can use a gray primer, a white primer. If you're going to chrome something, prime it, then use a high gloss black rattle can, spray it. And then when you spray on your chrome, do a real light coat, you'll get a mirror finish. If you spray the chrome on too heavy, it'll basically turn silver and dull, and then you kind of killed your chrome job. So, but I'm not an expert at nothing. I just know what I've done, and I try to pass it on to people. I know I'm talking too much. Go right ahead, Dixon.
No, that's fine.
Oh.
I'm in the same area. I just run to Walmart and get all them little bottles of paint that the white women use for their arts and crafts. I get the same thing. A lot of these buildings, they turned out real nice. I try to get the I do a lot of dry brush and I watch videos and that, and so a lot of them look like stone, I think, and I'm not going to get crazy. It just takes so much time, but I got a bunch of buildings up there that turn out really nice, and they're just regular paint. Trying to think of not acrylic, but
yeah, I use all acrylics.
Yeah, some of the stuff I use acrylics.
Water based.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paint that you may buy in a little tube. It comes out like toothpaste. You can't paint it like that. You need to thin it down so you can paint with it. You can't just glob a big chunk on the model. But sometimes people will post a print and the paint's globbed on and they didn't thin the paint down before they used it. Anybody has any questions on Facebook or on YouTube, you're welcome to ask. If you'd like to drop in, I posted the link there. If you don't see it, I can repost it. And anybody that's coming in late, let me show you a picture of my doggies in my hobby room. Here's my two mascots. That's Sandy and Nikita. The one on the floor is a terrier boxer, and Nikita's a black Jack Russell, black lab. And the reason they're staring at the camera, I'm holding a cookie in my hand by my cell phone. So I got them to pose for the camera. And then here's my messy hobby room. Here's where I'm currently sitting at talking to you. It's a living room in my house that I use for all my hobby.
That's my kind of room.
Yeah, the wife didn't care. We just had a big table in here for holidays when the relatives would come over, so it just kind of sat. And then my patio right next to where I'm at, this is out back. I'm going to put a wall up there and enclose it. And then this morning, I just picked up this door off of OfferUp. It's on Facebook. And I picked up that door, and the blinds, it's got a switch up there at the top that'll open and close the blinds, or you slide a lever and they roll up and down. The doggy door is too small. I need to put one in a little bit bigger, but that'll be a fun project. Take care, 3D Thomas, 3D Print Viking. Thank you for stopping in chat. Maybe next time you can drop in the stream. Take care. Yeah, Thomas lives in Norway, and he's a 3D Print Viking, and he drops into a lot of streams and hangs out. He has a YouTube channel. He does videos once in a while. Hobby Howie, how you doing? Do you have a Lazy Susan to paint your models? Yeah, I've got those black, cheap Lazy Susans, and recently I just made a tree. I took a couple, like one, well, I'll show you the tree. Let me grab it. Here's a paint tree. It's got some scrap trim that I had, and I took some hooks like you use for coffee cups, and I screwed it to my resin base, my models. And then over here, the hole was too big. The drain hole was too big in the model, so I got a pipe cleaner to hold that up there. And the sticks just come in and out wherever I want them. And then my spray booth, I bought a cheap Amazon spray booth a few years ago. It got too small, so I built one out of plywood around it and put a 3-foot LED light in the top of it. And then I was like, wow, that'll work perfect to double as a photo booth. So I just take Dollar Tree colored cardboard, lay it in my spray booth, turn a light on. Now I got a little photo studio for taking pictures of my prints. Anyway, anything you'd like to talk about, or we're kind of getting burned out?
Here's a couple. Some of my favorite prints the grandkids love is when I printed these big cookies, because I fill them full of cookies.
Oh, okay. Great big Oreos. Well, that's cool.
And the kids get, I gave this to my little granddaughter one time. She looks at it like she's going to take a bite out of it. It says, open it up. You can open it up. And then she looked inside it. And I got the chocolate chip ones like this, a giant Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know how you put, I have a glass cookie jar, and if your cookies get too hard, you're older, so you know that you throw a piece of bread in there.
Yep.
I accidentally had Oreos in the bottom half of the cookie jar, and that bread softened everything up, and it ruined the Oreos. That's nice.
These colors turned out, what's really neat is we were talking about resin printers, and I was looking at the Apex, the great big one.
Uh-huh.
I said to the wife, I says, I'll tell you what, I says, I can't buy that one unless I get a job, and it's got to be a big enough contract where it'll pay for itself in a couple of weeks. And I says, but if you think about it, I said to her, I says, I built ices, and with these resin, the regular 3D printers with the what do you call them again? FDM or printers, you can get the resolution. I mean, you can get perfect prints.
That's beautiful.
And you can, the resolution, I said, so to build something big, I mean, you can do a big part on and you look inside there and you look at the parts inside there, they're just perfect. And I said, you can build a pretty big piece with here's another little building.
Wow.
Pretty big parts with a CR10. You can make some giant parts. I'm trying to think.
Has your wife ever wanted you for Christmas to build a nativity scene type setup?
Yeah, they do, but I'm one of them guys that I can print this stuff for fun, but I have to make money. I mean, it just doesn't pay to do something like that when I go to Walmart and buy 10 of them for $10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm always looking at the ins and outs of making money, and it's like it's just not worth my time. The wife wants me to make this, make that. I says, honey, okay, I'll draw it up in CAD and I'll print it, and it's a lot of fun. I'll do it. It'll take 4 hours. Well, I might as well go down to work for 15 minutes and go buy one at Walmart. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I weigh it all out. I weigh it all out to see if it's feasible, you know, and I got to pick and choose my battles because I'm limited with time. I'm looking for a picture on my phone of that. I'm trying to think of that. I built it years ago, that gigantic printer, and I look at it and it's sort of a novelty. And I thought, hey, this is really cool. And I print some big stuff, but I sold it to a maker shop and I broke even, which I was happy. I'm trying to think of the name of these printers, the great big ones. They're 6 feet high.
Oh, a Delta?
What do they call them?
Delta.
Yeah, it's a Delta. It's a Delta, but what they call them, the Max. God, I can't think of the name. It's so many.
Anybody in chat, if you have an answer, please type it in.
That giant printer. I'm trying to think of the company that came out with them. They were $1,000 for the printer, and I got a deal and paid $600. And then when I built it all, I thought, okay, this is real cool. I'm printing some huge vases, but I said it's not making me any money, so I sold it to I broke even. I sold it to a maker shop that started up here in Wisconsin. And he was just happy. He came in saying it. He says, oh my God, I was looking for one of them and they're hard to get a hold of. And he says, for that price. And I says, well, I told him what I did. I said, me and my grandson built it and I got it all programmed and stuff. And I says, it works awesome. I said, don't play with the settings.
Max Micron, Dan, thanks.
I don't think that was it. I'm trying to think. The big... God, I don't think that's it. What did they call them? The Big Macs or the big? Oh, darn it! In fact, I don't see the company around that much anymore.
I know a lot of people will print out little doohickeys to put all their parts in little drawers, like you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yeah, that's an example. You're right.
That much time and plastic to print that, and I can go down to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy it real quick.
Yeah, it's just not. It's okay if you're doing it for fun, but it's just not feasible. It's just not feasible when you can buy 50 shelves for $10. Why would I print them? You know, it depends what you're doing.
Unless you live somewhere where you don't have access to Home Depot, Lowe's, etc.
Yeah, it depends what it all depends what they're doing. That's fine. There's a lot of guys are. Hey, I give them credit. They're having fun and they're experimenting. And like you said, modify a printer. I modified one. I shouldn't say that I put auto stop on all my printers, but other than that one CR10, because it took a while to heat up the bed, so I put a heat pad under it and then I put an SSR inside of it, and then now it's running on 110. So that thing heats up in like. I'm not kidding you. It heats up in about a minute and a half. It's up to temp. And I can, that thing's always printing before my other one starts up, heating up. And I thought, oh, okay, that's the only modifications I did with these printers. And it's like, wow, they're workhorses.
Yeah. Most of my printers, I have pies on. I run block to print. I got separate pies for different printers. Yeah.
That's awesome. If like you're retired, I can't wait. Cause you can do stuff like that. If you got the time, you got to pick your battles.
Well, it's 4:41 here in Vegas, and let me tell you, time flies by every day. It's so quick. When you're working, I don't know about you, but you'd always look at your watch thinking, when can I get out of here?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the good old days. When you're home, it just flies by quicker.
That's what they all say, and I'm thinking, oh my God, all the stuff I can do here, and well, that's another thing too. Everybody says, oh, you're so lucky, you can still do your sign business and your 3D printing when you're retired, and I'm thinking, that's true, and I used to agree with them, but now I'm 60, and it's like, I don't want to. I want to have fun. I had enough.
If you can afford to pay your bills and not work, then you can have fun, and you don't have to worry about all that other stuff.
Yeah. And I'm turning toward more of the fun and only take the jobs that come to me now. I'm not getting crazy anymore. When I turned 50, when I turned 55, I looked at everybody. I says, I don't know nothing about a shovel, a pick, and roofing. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. Or putting up a frame. I said, I'm done. I had enough.
Yeah, years ago, I've worked for some electrical companies and plumbing companies that have to dig their trenches and
Oh yeah.
places where you couldn't get in there with equipment. And oh my God,
Oh
it just.
yeah.
But
I did underground water ponds and all that digging for running pipes and wire and all of that stuff. And it's like I can understand. Well, it didn't beat me to death when I was in my 20s. I could handle it. Now I'd grab a shovel or a pick and go 10 feet and I'd be all done.
yeah,
It's just the way it is.
yeah, I've been a lot of grocery stores. They've upgraded a lot of things. Would have to come in and saw cut it and dig trenches and do this and that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I'm glad those days are over.
I hear you. I've done a bunch of Target stores when they were first coming up in this area, and oh my God, gas stations and all that, and then underground wiring, and all of a sudden I'd get a call. The owner would call me and says, "You got to get down to Oshkosh and blah blah blah." Here they dug up our wires, and they're all buried deep, and they're marked, and they're on the prints and everything. And here I got to go make splices because they dug up all my wires I just buried.
Marcus has to go. He's saying goodbye to both of us. Take care, Marcus, and thank you.
Have a good one.
Anybody else like to jump in? I posted a link there in on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you'd like to join in, scroll back up. There's a link there. You can join in. We're not talking about politics, sex, or anything like that. Hobby stuff related only.
What kind of you have a CNC, Jerry?
Yeah, MP CNC V1 Engineering designed it, mostly printed. I printed all the parts out of PETG.
Yep, I know exactly which one you're talking. Yep.
Yeah, I've got it out in the garage. It's 3 foot by 3 foot. It's
Cool.
built. I have it in an enclosure. I just haven't done the firmware yet. When it started getting hot here in Vegas, I kind of quit work. I need to work on the firmware. That way I can test to make sure the motors go in the right directions and start doing some carving.
You're going to use Gerbil, or you plan on getting Mach 3? Or
I've got a Makita router on it right now.
No, I mean for software, you're going to use Mach 3, or you're going to use Gerbil?
Just Marlin.
Oh, Gerbil. Yep, that's sort of like a Gerbil version of. Yep, that's a good way to go.
I got a whole laptop I'll take out there. I've got a camera in it mounted so I can monitor it. And obviously, with the CNC or laser, you can't go to bed and let it print. You got to monitor it.
Yeah.
So I have a camera in it. It'll be louder than hell. So if the enclosure don't muffle it enough, I will probably insulate it somehow. But it's in that garage. I can close the door. I just won't do anything late at night. So that was the neighborhood.
I built one, and then Gerbil is awesome. It's different. Mach 3 is the Cadillac, and it costs about $150 or $190. I think it's up to now. This was years ago when I had Mach 2 in that. But Gerbil and Marlin, that's awesome. You buy it. I had an Arduino board, and I put the ramps on it and stuff, and made one like that too, and it works great.
I'll see if I can find a picture here, and I'll show you. It's somewhere. I've got 2 computers, and I got so many pictures on the hard drives. It's nuts.
Yeah, I hear you.
I've been posting on Facebook for the last 3.5 years of prints and stuff. The Facebook group is 3D Printing and Painting, 3D HP. If you haven't joined, you're welcome to join. But I've got around 5,000, almost 5,000 members on Facebook, and then YouTube around 1,700 or a little
cool.
over. So I'm getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. On my phone, we got hundreds of machines. I have all the machines on there, and the prints, the electrical prints. I mean, everything mechanical right on my phone, and it's.
Have you backed them up on a hard drive or a flash drive?
Yeah, I have an iPhone, and I don't pay for expansion for cloud, so I take it and I dump it. I all my stuff is backed up on hard drives and stuff.
I hate to see you lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, I clone my none of my computers downstairs running my lasers and stuff. They're off the internet, and then I clone the hard drive and I put the hard drive underneath. So when one dies, I flop in the other one. But they're not solid state or nothing because them are older computers. They're just SATA yet. I still got some of the old stuff. I just on my CNC. I just got rid of the. She died. XP died on me about 4 years ago, and I got that module Win CNC, so I can run everything through USB port. So I put one of the computers, an NVIDIA system I built about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and I put that on there. Now it's working great again.
Hey, Matthew, how you doing, buddy? He was on the EduTech last week. He has a really lot of awesome, cool props that he's been building. A lot of really neat stuff in his garage. And he was on my Hangout last week. If you have time, Matthew, you're welcome to drop in. I don't think Dixon's ever met you, and you're an awesome dude. And if you're busy in your garage, just hang out and chat as you can, but you're welcome to drop in if you want to. I can't find any pictures on this computer, but I got some videos up of it that I've done. And anyway, Al Jolly, how you doing? Jim Sellers, how you doing? Hey, Jim, look at this. I wound up buying 2 of them since I couldn't get the firmware going. I've got 2 TH3D boards, so I'm going to pull that SKR 1.3 V2 out and put it in the box on the shelf. But
which board was that? What, that wasn't a Duet, was it?
TH3D's board from.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yep. Now, did he download all the? You can buy it, I guess, that way. Did he download all the firmware for you and everything, or?
Yeah, you can download all that, and they got like a cloud-based program where you can just pick what you want and download the bin file and drop it on your.
Did he? Yeah. Did he put it on for you? I mean, and then
no,
you bought it.
It's not already on there now.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on what printer you're going to put it in.
Yeah, I remember years ago when you didn't have a bootloader or whatever. No, and then I bought a board from Amazon about 4 or 5 years ago where you didn't have to do the jumper wires on on the Arduino to download the firmware. It's a bootloader board.
Yeah,
they're like $12 or something, and you could just use that and plug it right in, and then you could some of the boards you can't bootload them.
Yeah, a lot of the 8-bit boards now has a bootloader built in on the firmware when you buy the printer, but now that they went to 32-bit, that's not needed. You just configure it on your hard drive, you drop it on your SD card, pop it in the printer, turn it on, and it flashes the firmware that quick on 32-bit.
Oh yeah, see, I still back when I was doing the old stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna let those pictures go. I don't see them.
It's getting easier and easier.
If anybody would like to jump in, there's the link again. Let me go over to Facebook and repost it over there. Anybody on Facebook watching, if you'd like to drop in and hang out, you don't have to download anything. Just click on the link. It'll check your camera and your microphone, and then you can drop in. I'll hear it go beep, and then I can pull you in. We're not talking about politics or sex or anything like that. Just hobby 3D printing type stuff is what the conversation's about. Anyway, here we go. Al Jolly's popping in. He's not connected. His mic is not connected, it says, or his cam. So he started to pop in. Yeah, Al Jolly, you got to have your cam and mic working.
Yeah, here in Wisconsin, it's 10-7 right now.
Here we go. How you doing, Al Jolly?
I'm doing.
Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, here in Wisconsin, it's 10-7 right now.
Here we go. How you doing, Al Jolly?
Oh, he's
Mute your YouTube. We can hear it. Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, here in Wisconsin, it's 10-7 right now.
Here we go. How you doing, Al Jolly?
Oh,
Mute your YouTube. We can hear it. Right?
yeah, here in Wisconsin.
You got it muted?
Yes.
There you go. Perfect. So where do you live at?
I live in Peoria, Illinois.
Cool. So what have you been working on? I've seen you around before. I recognize the name.
The last convention at the what's it called? The Maker Convention. I think I seen you there.
I have never been to Murph or Earp. I'm just online. I'm all over Facebook posting constantly, and I'm on my YouTube channel, my Facebook group.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I got you.
There's a lot of fat, bald-headed people there probably, so I probably look like a lot of people.
Well, I would turn on my camera, but I don't have one setup.
Okay, not a problem. Maybe next time.
Well,
Dan says he's about an hour north of where you live.
oh really?
What is your go-to 3D design software, Dixon?
I didn't bother. You'd be amazed what I drew up using Tinkercad. I mean, you can draw any sophisticated part with Tinkercad, which is cool. But I didn't learn Fusion 360 for one reason, and now a lot of people are finding out in the last couple of weeks why I didn't learn and get real good with Fusion 360 is because guess what? They're taking the licenses away and they're going to make everybody pay. You know, that hobby license that you can have, they're going to change that. So to answer his question, I'm still using 123D Design, which came out before Fusion 360. And I knew that would go away. So when it first came out, I downloaded the master program and I have it on my computer so I can still use it.
Isn't that the video that Makers Muse just released talking about how they're taking away some of the ways you can save files and what you can?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're only allowed 10 active files. After the first of the month, you're only going to be allowed 10 active files, and they took away some of the formats like step. They're taking away step saving in a step file. So he's kind of warned everybody to go ahead and start exporting all your files out now into step. So if you want to take them to another program to use, you can.
Al Jolly, what are you working on right now? Anything?
No, I've been working a lot. I deliver concrete for a living, and normally on the weekends is when I get to print and stuff. But to answer your question, one of the guys at the Makerspace gave me a BCN 3D Sigma, and it was missing one of the extruders. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the BCN 3D, but the top of the heat sink on the extruder has a plate and it's bolted in. And so I had to go on Thingiverse and download a adapter to use a E3D V6 hot end.
Yes.
And finally got that on there, and it's a 3 millimeter filament, and the only filament I have that is 3 millimeter is ABS. And the software that's in that thing to level the build plate is unbelievable on that. It wants to print here and then it goes over here and prints there, and it heats up and cools down between each head. I finally just put it in the garage and said it's gonna wait for winter.
So you're a concrete truck driver, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've poured a lot of concrete. I've done a lot of buckets on towers on the strip, big giant buckets of cranes got to climb up to the roof. And I backed up many a concrete truck and filled buckets.
Tough job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Al. Yeah, I'm about an hour north of you.
You're freezing. You're like a robot.
Yeah, he's losing his internet.
Dan, your internet's crap. It's either his internet or he didn't take his medicine today.
20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he can't hear us. Here, I'll let him fix it. I booted him. Yeah, Dan, if you can hear us, your internet was freezing up, so come back in. Let me try pulling him back. Dan, you there? No, he dropped out. Okay, I tried to pull him back in.
Jerry, I found that printer I was talking about, that big one I built. It was the Tebow Little Monster. And I don't know if they're still around.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, that was a huge printer. And I see one now on GearBest, and I don't know if it's legit. It was $1,400.
Wow.
Back then they were 1,000 and I paid 6, and then I sold it to that makerspace for 6 when they started up. But that was a pretty neat printer. But that was a whole different story, because that was a big board on there. I don't know if it was 32 or 64, but that was all programmed in C++. Because
Okay.
Yeah, you were going like this.
Yeah, it happens every now and then. What I was getting at was Al. I was saying that I'm about an hour, like I said, a little over an hour north of you, by the Starved Rock area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I live about 20 minutes from Starved Rock.
Yeah, we've been delivering concrete to the Hennepin, Illinois bridge.
Well, I can tell you right now that Hennepin is about 10 minutes from where I'm living. So you take 89, you go right past where I live. So when you guys are coming in with the trucks, because you're probably picking up, I'm sure you're probably picking up. Actually, no, you're not, because you're coming up from Peoria. So
No. We have a Roanoke Concrete has a plant there in Henry.
In Henry, okay, yeah. So then you're actually going to be south of where I'm at. So yeah, you don't unless you come over about 10 minutes from Hennepin, unless you head east about 10 minutes up 89 and stop at the gas station for something to drink or eat for lunch. You're just about 10 minutes from where I'm at when you're up there working.
Chris Travis saying hi to you, Dan.
Yeah, Chris Travis, why don't you come join us?
I don't know. I tried to get him in there for a while, and I don't think
he don't want to stream anymore. He kind of gave up on streaming. He just wants to sit there and listen.
Oh.
He's become a voyeur when it comes to the whole streaming thing.
I'm going to log off, but I'll log right back on. I connected up a camera.
Okay, cool. Not a problem.
Yeah, it is. It's always fun when people from Illinois join in, because for the most part, it seems like when everybody joins in, they're within about a 2-hour drive of me. I haven't met anybody who's down in Southern Illinois that's like a 6 to 8 hour drive yet. So I'm doing pretty good. Everybody's about a 2-hour drive that's in Illinois, and even some that are a little farther away. Like I think 3D Medic Vince, I think he's like a 6.5 hour drive from where I'm at. So if I wanted to go see him over in Ohio, it'd be like I'd make a day of it, drive out to Ohio, see him, leave out in the morning, go see him, and then drive back.
I'm in Vegas, not far away from everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're kind of smack dab in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, granted, if we're going to Vegas to visit for something, you're right there. It would be like, hey, Jerry, we're coming to Vegas. We're going to stop by, but
stop by his place when it gets cold. He don't have to worry about the cold like we do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, because he thinks that 70 degrees is cold. And for us,
30s and 40s. I mean, it gets cold here, but it only lasts for a couple weeks here and there. There's days in the middle of winter I can go out in shorts if I want to, so it's not always snow.
I'm telling you right now that when winter hits, you'll see people in 40-degree weather running around in jeans and a t-shirt, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you nuts?" And it's like, no, it's been negative 50 with the wind chill for the last 2 weeks, so 40 is like a heat wave.
In the summer we have dry heat. It gets hotter than hell, but it's dry heat. You can be in the shade and you won't sweat. I can be in the house and I won't be sweating. So
every time somebody says that dry heat thing, I remember that comedian who always talks about, but it's a dry heat.
Yeah, a blowtorch is dry too, but I know what you're saying, because I do like that kind of heat. I went down to Texas one time and it was 90-some degrees and I was golfing and they thought I was going to have a stroke. I says, I loved it. It just baked in my bones. It felt so good.
Yeah.
The wife and I, 30 years ago, went to West Palm Beach. And it was 58 degrees there, and we were swimming and they thought we were nuts. We were the only ones, and they knew right away, well, you got to be from Wisconsin or something, because I said, we just left. It was 15 below zero where we left. I had a spring jacket on, and the plastic spring jacket was frozen solid. I could hit it with my hand. I said, when we fly down here, this is warm to us, and they thought we were nuts swimming at 58, 60 degrees. They thought you're crazy. They all had sweaters on.
Yeah, and you're like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right, I think I got this thing about there. I'm gonna run another bed level test, and we'll see what happens, and then I'm gonna print a part, and we'll see what happens. I gotta find the damn part.
I've got to change a couple things on my CR10 and do some filming, and then start a video with ZYLTECH resin, printing some goodies.
Let me out! I'm stuck in your pocket.
That's my voicemail on my phone.
Yeah, you gotta let me out. I'm stuck in your pocket.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Andrew S. If he'd come join us. Andrew
Yeah,
S.
welcome to pop in.
Yeah, if you're still floating around, Andrew S.
Look at this. It's Chris Travis. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, what's up, smart
How's
ass?
it going?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you on it now. I'm gonna call you smart ass because I had to like egg you on to get you to come join us because every now and then Dan doesn't want to stream and everybody eggs me on. They're like, come on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get you this time. Yeah. So how we been, Mr. Travis?
Not too bad.
How's work been? Kicking your butt?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you do for a living, if I could ask?
I'm a maintenance planner scheduler for a very large pharmaceutical company in Illinois.
Yep. He lives. He works about 2 hours away from me and lives about 3, if I remember right, or about 2.5 to 3 hours north of me, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm just right over the border in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so he's like, it's like a 2 hour drive for me straight up 39 to get to the Wisconsin border. So he's just like right up there.
I used to cut concrete. There was a place here in Vegas. It was a real clean lab where they made some kind of drugs and they had different clean rooms and had to go and drill different holes and cut concrete, and pretty interesting. Everything's perfectly spotless, like something at NASA or something,
Yep.
Or a hospital.
Yeah, we got those.
It's amazing how drugs is such a clean thing, I mean, they'll make meth in a toilet, but they'll make your Viagra in a lab.
It depends who you're selling it to.
Yeah.
True. I guess it is all about the market.
So what are you printing, Chris? Anything going on?
Oh, nothing at the moment.
Liar. What did you print?
Hell, Jolly.
Oh,
Show it off.
I did print these.
Mm-hmm. So I knew you had something. You're always holding out.
So these are dividers for a card game that I'm collecting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the camera didn't work.
It's all right, Al.
Well, you can order one off Amazon.
Well,
Hey.
I do web chat enough to have one hooked up. So
I'll be honest with you. Anymore, $20 right now. The Wise cams are going for $20 now instead of 25. A firmware flash and a USB-A to USB-A cable, which, if you're handy enough, you can just cut two old mice or keyboards or something, cut the cords and splice it together. Make yourself a USB-A to A for nothing, and you've got a webcam for $20 in about 5 minutes to flash the other firmware.
Yeah, right off their website.
So, yeah.
what kind
Yes, Andrew. It's the Wise Cam, WYZE. If you go to WYZE.com.
Or Home Depot sells them.
Yeah, and you can get them at Home Depot too. I know if you order them off the Wise website, they're like $20 right now, and you can either get white or black for just the standard camera. It's like these guys right here. I don't know if you can see it, but let me actually here.
Yeah, it's the little square cube. Yep. You can get them on Amazon. They're dirt cheap.
Yep, $20.
Yep, and they're awesome.
They
Yeah,
have
I used to watch
a magnet in the bottom.
Yeah, and actually the crazy part, since I'm still full screen, is you got the micro USB there, which is your power, and if you see the USB-A plug back there, it's usually an accessory port for some of the other stuff they have. But when you're using it as a webcam, the firmware, for whatever reason, uses that accessory port. It doesn't use your micro port. So all you've got to do is flash the firmware, take the SD card out, reboot it, plug into the Type A port when it tells you to. Just plug in Type A and then plug it into your computer, Raspberry Pi, whatever. They all see it as just an HD webcam.
Well, what camera I tried to use was a PlayStation 3 eye camera,
Oh, yeah.
which works perfectly with my Raspberry Pi 4 I have set up with Optoprint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it worked fine. But as far as this chat thing, just wouldn't pick it up.
Well, Mr. Travis there can get you working with a Raspberry Pi, and he can get you up and streaming on a Raspberry Pi if you want to take a tutorial. If he ever makes a tutorial on how to do it, I should say. I'm
still working on it.
Because he sat there one day and we were like, "Oh, it's Chris. Bring him in." And he's like, hey guys, can you hear me? Hey guys. And like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm in my basement. I'm working, or it's like somewhere else in the basement. He's like, I'm working on this Raspberry Pi. We're like, what? He's like, I'm streaming from a Raspberry Pi. It's like, so he had like camera, his headphones, and everything, and he's just holding a Raspberry Pi in one hand and a camera in the other, and he's like, look.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it is. I mean, the Raspberry Pis have enough power to do something like this. It just, just understanding what you're doing. And I think
if anybody wants to join my Facebook group, I put a link there in chat where you can find me over on Facebook.
I think everybody should join the Facebook group, Jerry, not just if they want to. They should just do it. Go. Smash the like button and then go join the Facebook group. And then come back.
Whenever you watch anybody on YouTube, always give them a thumbs up. If you can, comment. All that helps our channel. And if you don't like it, give them a thumbs down. Everything helps. Thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, interaction is interaction with the channel. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It helps the algorithm. Whether you want to think that the negatives are like the
online off of YouTube, talking to a guy in Wisconsin, one in California, one in Northern Illinois, and I don't know where that other guy's from.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. You headed to the bank? Oop.
Yeah. Hey, that one turned out much better. I got a little spot where it kind of went a little wonky, but for the most part, there you go. You see on the O where the 0 there kind of rolled over on itself a little bit in the
You're level. You're good to go. You're level.
Oh yeah, it's good enough. That's good enough to print.
Yeah, that Raspberry Pi you guys were talking about. I remember when I got one when they first came out years ago, and it's a good little computer. I think they're getting way easier to download the software and the technique and that. You had to go through all these hoops. I think I had Raspberry on it, and I used to watch YouTube on that and stuff.
Oh yeah, the Pis are a nice little utility, and it does make. It does make the ability to 3D print a little bit nicer when all you got to do is slice the file, and most of your slicers nowadays will see the Raspberry Pi, and you can put it in a completely different room. You don't have to have it right next to you. That's always nice. I mean, especially like back in the day when you guys started out in printing. Oh my God, how loud they were back then, and how things have progressed now. I mean, with the silent steppers and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've got these 6 different colors of resin here on the ZYLTECH resin. What do you guys think would be good that I print in different colors for my video? I'm going to do Joel, the little Joel, the new one, the safety Joel.
Yeah.
That'll be one, but I'm trying to get some ideas. Maybe some minis or something in different colors.
Why don't you give Warcocky a little bit of satisfaction and print like a little Chris, a little mini Chris.
Yeah. Mini Joel, here's a Warcocky.
You get the safety Joel and a mini Warcocky, and then print a couple small lightsabers and have them battle.
Yeah.
Post it like they're battling.
Hey Jerry. So with that resin, is it when you put the dye in, is it actually still transparent when it prints?
I have to stir it up. I don't know. It'd probably be. I'm assuming if I put blue dye in clear resin and stir it up, it's going to be bluish clear. So I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what I've been seeing on the internet. That it's slightly clear, but it clouds up a little more, and it's blue.
I'll have to experiment with it. I want to tape it, and then I'll put a couple drops in the vat, and I'll stir it up and see how it looks. If it ain't dark enough, I'll add a couple more drops. And I want to do that for a video for them, so I'll just do it on the fly.
Because if it does that, then you could print those crystals you see on, I don't know, I think I've seen them on my mini factory. They're like little clusters of crystals, and then you do that with that. I think that would look pretty neat.
Okay.
I wonder what a lithophane would look like. Resin.
Oh, yeah.
I have them, but I don't have clear, but I got them. They're perfect, and I used only the ABS light gray. That's all I ever use for my production parts and for my lithos and my TVs. But oh my God, when it happens to be gray, but I got LEDs inside the TV unit. It's for the guys that weren't here. It's like a unit like this, and it's crazy how 3-dimensional it looks. This one here, I have a Windows Phone, but my other TV up there, I could plug it in, but you can't show it on camera because the lighting blocks it out. Like, I can try it. I can get it and try it. But you get them lithos when you figure that out with the resin. Oh my God! I got all these other lithos that I sell with my that I was showing Jerry. That I sell like this night lights, and you got to get a light behind it, but
Right.
right here,
Yeah.
and they're just perfect. But when you get to the resin, you look at it, it's like 3-dimensional. I'll get that TV off of there, plug it in, and see. I don't think you can see it because it wants to block out the big white light. Will block everything out. I'll try it.
At the makerspace, I'm a member of RCL, River City Labs, and we have a there at Glowforge, and I've lasered lithopanes into plexiglass or acrylic.
Yeah, that looks nice. There, you got it. He's got it down to a science too. It looks very nice. I'm getting the same resolution. That looks awesome.
I gave away some of these for Christmas, and you look at them, it's like, well, what's that? And I said, well, let me show you. And you put a light on it. Yeah, it's amazing when you get the paint. Let me get out of full screen mode here.
Hey, Jerry, there's people on the internet that are printing the picture on a regular printer paper.
Yeah.
Putting the printer paper behind that, and it's making the thing painted.
Yeah, it's doing like a colored print.
Yep.
Yes, they're doing that with resins, and then you use the white, and then you put that sheet back there, and it looks like a colored litho.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool looking. See if I can plug this thing in.
Super bright.
There we go. I think it's going to get blocked out, but when you look at this live, all right, what's going on here? Getting cords tangled up.
My flashlight's
Somebody
too
was in
bright.
chat a bit ago. I forget who it was that has done some lithos and resin, and they were talking about it to Marcus, and Marcus already left. But
to whoever
litho and resin.
I'm just gonna say to whoever's doing lithos and resin, please put out some YouTube videos. That's all I'm saying. Because
definitely
not that I have a resin printer and I plan to do them, but I would just love to see the process and more people's kind of methods in doing so. Because if I ever do, it'd be nice to know how to print a litho on resin if I ever do get one. You know.
The only problem is I never did a YouTube.
Well, it's.
Everybody and their grandma said you should have a YouTube channel 20 years ago when you started. 10 I've been doing it 9, 10 years. Here it is, but I don't think it's going to show up because it's going to blow out. Let me turn the light down. I mean, it looks so awesome, and yeah, it doesn't show up right on camera because I had this on a show one night and they wanted to see it, and I said you can't get it to show up because
no, and the only way
we can see it.
Yeah, but it's in real life. It is so 3-dimensional. It's me and the wife standing at a wedding, and it's just crazy how cool it looks. And this is a resin. Oh, there, I almost had it turning the light down. But
yeah, right there's not too bad. You can kind of make it out there, but it's
yeah,
not.
a little bit. But you look at this, and it's like, oh my God, 3-dimensional. And what I do is I take the top off, and it's like a slideshow. You can put these different slides in.
Oh, cool.
And you drop them in the TV like that, and it's just, I wish there was a way. I tried it a couple different ways to show people, but it just doesn't. Even taking a digital picture and trying to show it to somebody, sharing the screen, it didn't work, and it's just crazy how I can give you the settings and everything for the Mars, and you're going to be amazed how perfect this thing comes out.
Wow.
I just can't. Yeah, it wants to blow out. You can't really see.
But you printed those TVs too, right?
Yeah, I printed these TVs, and I have all different sizes. Like this one here, it's pretty cool. I played a Twilight Zone on it. This is an old Windows phone, so I made one so the Windows phone slides up. The one up here, this is the Twilight Zone one. That's the iPad that slides in. That one up here on the shelf. Yeah, the resolution is crazy. I mean, I got my printer set up, but I've been doing this for a long time, and it's smooth all the way around. It's just perfect. But when I do my production parts, I have to have good settings.
Oh yeah.
My dog is jealous of me being streaming. She keeps jumping up on me.
Yep. It's always one of two things in my house. It's either a cat or my wife that try to curl up in my lap when I'm streaming.
So I don't want my dog licking me, either one of them, because dogs eat poop.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the other thing too is like they love litter boxes, so it's always like a snack, like a smorgasbord for the dog. When we let them, we gotta watch them. Yeah, and then my cats, they only did that stuff when the kittens were just born. Like now the kittens are older, they don't care. But when the kittens were smaller, if they would do that, the cats would grab it, and it's like, yeah, well, I guess you lick your ass, so I guess eating shit's not much different. like oh, whatever. But yeah, it was that whole just covering up the scent thing that they do.
Al Jolly, you still here?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a concrete truck driver, right?
Yep.
One of my last jobs here in Vegas, out at Lake Mead, because the lake water was getting so low, they built a giant drain in the bottom of Lake Mead, and then they drilled a tunnel underground to basically make a giant tunnel to have an inlet for the water. I worked on a crew out there for a few months, and it really sucked. They had big giant barges put together from back east, and they had a tugboat hooked up to them, and they were putting 5 concrete trucks at a time on these tugboats, 10 yards of concrete every truck, going out there 24/7 for like 3 or 4 weeks pouring concrete, and they poured like, I don't remember, 50 or 60,000 yards to set this big doohickey down on the ground and pour concrete around it. And it was truck after truck after truck for 3 or 4 weeks, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I was on the barge, directing the barge, where to turn here and there, and tying him up to the barge that was out in the middle of the lake that was docked. And it's pretty crazy. I worked graveyard shift, and it was pretty crazy.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, man. I've never been on a boat. I've never been but being in a concrete mixer on a barge,
yeah,
oh man, my ass would be sucking seat.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So they had no problems. None of the trucks, nothing got in there, nothing tipped over. They're all sitting there, slowly turning real slow, obviously, so the concrete don't set up. But yeah, there was no issues, and it got done. Pretty interesting.
5 trucks at a time.
It was 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly, but there are these great big giant. They look like a Connex box. What they're put together, and they built them, put them all together, and they hooked the tugboat up to them. I forget how it was hooked up to it, but they pulled them out there like 5 or 6 at a time.
Oh my! Wow.
And then if they had trouble and with the pump or something going on with their conveyor belt out on the barge in the middle of the lake, now they got to bring the truck back in, and he has got to go hurry up and dump his load before it sets up, and nothing but a big headache.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I sure hope everybody got paid well.
Yeah.
I only have really one horror story from ever working out on the river. I did a couple different river jobs there for a while. I worked a couple different elevators, and even temped at a place just cleaning barges out. They had a bunch of pig iron they'd got in, and they needed the tanks or the barges cleaned out. So we're out there scrubbing and cleaning and running a Bobcat. Well, they were bringing the fiberglass tops back over, because rather than just stack them on one side and then just bring them across, they took them all off and stacked them on the shore. Well, they'd use the crane to swing them back up. Well, crane operators bringing them up. Me and one guy are over on the outside on the water side. There's 2 guys on the inside. And then as they come over, our job is just to quick release the hooks and then scoot down for the next one. Well, the crane operator's bringing it in. He's getting everything lined up, and then he jerked a boom.
No.
And jerking the boom took that whole giant piece of fiberglass and just swung it out. And we both ended up grabbing the little, the cable rail on the side there. We grabbed that, and we're both just hanging off the side of the barge, leaned out as far as we could be, ducked down. And then that thing come back, and it slammed into right above us, slammed into the side of the barge, bounced back out, and then he raised it up, and then it swung back out over everybody and came back. And needless to say, we called him everything but the boss after we got done with that one, because he damn near smashed both of us with that fiberglass. Because if that thing would have came in, we had one place to go, which was in the drink. And I mean, even then, we weren't far enough off the shore that, we were only, a fully loaded barge will sink down. So you're talking, 20 feet there, roughly? Not even 15 feet. So good thing I knew how to swim and I had my vest on, but still. it wasn't what I had planned when I went to work that day, was to have to jump in, and thankfully I didn't. But that was the thing, because we both leaned over and looked out to see where it was going. As we saw it coming in, neither one of us let go, because we were like, oh, it should clear. And all of a sudden, the sound of a giant fiberglass topper slamming into a giant empty steel barge, it'll rock the hell out of you. So, but yeah, we screamed and chewed his ass. And needless to say, when we came off the barge, the supervisor came over and said, what happened, fellas? We told him. He said, all right. The next day we came into work and that crane operator wasn't working. He wasn't fired, but he wasn't working the crane anyway. They had him up doing some other like grunt work up in the shop.
Jerry, you're yawning, and you're out in California. It's 7:23 here, so you're.
I'm at 5:23 here in Vegas, and
Yeah.
I usually don't sleep well at night, so I yawn a lot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But Chris and I are with you there, Al. And Dixon, where you at again?
Wisconsin.
Oh, you're right up there too.
Yep, right by Green Bay. Yep.
Oh, so I feel sorry for you. You can tell me you're a Packers fan next.
Not no more, but we can't. We don't want to talk about politics.
No, exactly. I understand.
I'll skip it.
Yeah. No, just understand. I know what you mean. I quit watching football myself.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I was hoping the Cowboys were going to win their first game, but no, they lost. And the Raiders, I've never really cared for the Raiders. They don't play too well, but this year they actually done good, and they won their first game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got new players. They're doing good. They're a Vegas team now, so I'm trying to watch them so I will like them. I can support them, and they actually won. They've done a good job.
Yeah, I can tell you that I'm hoping this is the year. I really am. I'm hoping in baseball that this will be the All Chicago Series this year. It sounds like there's a chance. So it'd be kind of interesting to see the All Chicago Series before I go. I got to see the Cubs win. Now it'd just be nice to see an All Chicago Series, because has anybody seen an All Chicago Series before?
No,
not alive.
So. Yeah, I was gonna say didn't think so. There hasn't been a Chicago Series in ever that I can recall. I might be wrong, and there might have been, but that's before my time and before I understood what baseball was. So.
I'm not sure what this comment means. It's not showing up in StreamYard, but Hobby Howie FPV says, think I might be above your head, Dixon. That's coming in good. I don't understand that.
I don't get it either. I see that.
From something we're probably talking about earlier.
Either that, or he might be talking about the whole, like, you're in Wisconsin by Green Bay, and he might be farther north than you.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
I was thinking he was talking about the TV on the shelf behind you. That's showing.
I think one might be above your head, Dixon. That's coming in good. Oh, could be. I don't know.
Yeah, because you could see the screen.
Yeah, you can see it up there. That one looks pretty good.
Here, let me pull you up.
Looks
here,
like
it's
Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. But guess what? That one's gonna come in. That's a piece of paper.
Okay.
that's a great. The resolution on that one is just magnificent.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why Hobby Howie it's not popping up in StreamYard, but yeah, I just seen your comment. YouTube was holding it.
Stupid YouTube.
Yeah, it said show or hide. It was holding it for a minute. So I seen it.
Yeah, he's right. This one does come in good. That's because it's a piece of paper. You take that paper out and you slip your iPad in there. This will fit an iPad perfect. iPad fits in here.
Yeah, see, Hobby Howie's second comment showed up in StreamYard, but not the first comment. So maybe YouTube held it too long, and then when I hit show, then it didn't show up in StreamYard. So I don't know why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
Anybody watching on YouTube or StreamYard have any questions, please ask. If you would like to join in, there's always more room if somebody wants to drop in and hang out. And Al Jolly, please talk whenever you want. Because you're a black screen, we tend to forget that you're sitting there.
Oh, sorry. I'm listening and don't want to interrupt. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
hey, however, if you got something to say, just be like, hey, Dan, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
Yeah. I talk a lot. Dan talks a lot, and other people want to talk. So if you have something to say and we're gabbing, hold up your hand, If you're on screen, we'll stand up. That's about all.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
not on screen. I hold
Yeah,
my hand.
just hold your hand up. We'll be sure to look for it.
Yeah.
Gary, I know I've seen your YouTube. I've seen you on Facebook. You do a lot of figure 3D printing.
Yep, I got hundreds of them.
Are you selling them?
I don't have an Etsy store yet, but I need to. I just kind of got into it because I enjoyed it. And then I got more and more and more. I sell occasional things here and there to people that I hear in Vegas, but I need to get an Etsy store and sell everything I have, painted or not. There's a few things I want to keep, but yeah, basically everything's for sale. It's just I have too much stuff.
What's your go-to printer?
What?
Your go-to printer. What does most of the printing for your figures?
Well, it used to be all CR10s, and then it was my Enders. My TiVo Tarantula Pro is a go-to printer. When I want to just print something real quick, I'd pop it on the SD card. It works great. If something's a little bigger, I'll put it on a CR10. I've got the new Ender 3 V2 that Crowley sent me to do a review on. It works great. It needs a filament runout sensor and easy ABL put on it. I've got a Hypercube I built that I need. I was printing with some Sunlu Black PLA about a week ago, and I got a bad clog on it. And that's for really big stuff, and I haven't printed nothing big on it. You can kind of see it in the picture behind me. But my go-to are usually a CR10 or a TiVo Tarantula Pro or an Ender 3. So, and then resin printers, I've only got the one, the Elegoo Mars. I want to get the bigger Mars they came out with. And if I ever get the money, I'll move to a Panoply Phenon or something like that it's called.
Yeah,
they're like
Panoply.
$2,000. So
Yeah. The
if
good
I
old
sell enough prints, I
Monopoly.
can buy a big resin printer.
Wow.
You know, I'm here on a live stream talking for over 3 hours. I could have been setting up an Etsy store, but or do some videos or watch Netflix. I just have to set it up, start listing things. Larger things will be harder to sell if they're bigger. They got like a. Let me show you a print. I'm not going to sell this one. I like it. I don't want to reprint it. But here's a Mandalorian, for instance. Now, since it's all glued together and the gun is on it, in order to sell it on Etsy, I would have to box it so it wouldn't break, and it's going to get broke. So I'd have to remove some parts, maybe the figure from the base, pack it very carefully in styrofoam bubble paper, you know, things like that. Let me make it big for you. Yeah.
One big
Here's the Mandalorian.
would work.
So
Sweet.
Yeah,
it has a sand base on it. I painted it with glue. I went to Hobby Lobby. I bought some glue. I forget what it was, and I bought some sand and sprinkled on the base to give it a sand base. But it's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
that's PLA.
Yeah.
Have you used any of that gloop? That is a
Yes, I have some gloop I've tried. I usually use a 2-part spray. It's like a super glue with a spray activator called 2P-10. You buy it on Amazon. It comes with super glue and then a spray activator. I'll put on 2 parts, put them together, then I hit it with a little bit of spray, and it cures it instantaneously. I do have some gloop that I bought from them. It tends to dry up fairly quick, and it doesn't instantaneously bond. So, you know, different things for different projects. I think a lot of people that are on here usually use super glue. It's a gel. A lot of people use super glue gel, and they glue their model with that.
Yep. 2P10 is great stuff too. Works great.
Yeah. It works around the house. Your trim, your baseboard, your mirrors,
Yep.
just about anything. It's good for that. So,
wow. I wish my camera was working. I could show you. some of the-
Microtech, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Thank
Yeah,
you.
later, Microtech.
So a couple years ago, when I first bought my Ender, I was looking at printing chess pieces, and my daughter started getting into playing chess, so I printed these. So they're like a skull type.
A skull.
Yep, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so a couple weeks ago, I got started with the chessboard, and so this is one piece, and what they are is they're magnetic.
Oh, cool.
So there's 4 pieces like that, and then on on the corner where they're notched out is a pillar.
The pillars, yep, cool.
And that-
Yeah,
and
you
that's-
got good resolution on the other prints. You got really good resolution,
Thanks.
and you're gonna have it on the resolution.
These are all done. Like this piece and the other piece and the pillars were done on my Prusa, and all the chess pieces were done on my Ender 3.
Cool. Well,
Keep bragging about your Prusa, buddy. Go ahead. And say there's a guy in here who's got himself about 8 of the original Prusas that he built from scratch.
Jim Sellers, if you're still here. Yeah, Jim built them
Over
from
there.
scratch. He didn't have to wait 8 or 9 months and saved a ton of money.
Wow.
Built them from scratch.
Jim, if you're in chat, are you there? Make a comment. I'm not sure if he stuck around.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, Mr. Dixon down there, he's well, how many did you say you had? You had like 8, right? And they're
I have 12 of them now, but
Okay.
my original ones I showed you that I started my business with. Yeah, I had 7 of those I built to get going.
Okay. Yeah, and they were the original Mendel style, right? They were
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
original i3 or Mendel style, whatever he called them.
Yep. When I started in 3D printing, it just started out over in the UK. They used to call it rep wraps.
Yep.
Yeah, they had rep wrap, and
Yep.
I believe Prusa when the original one when he came out, he called it the Mendel style, and it had
Exactly.
the threaded
Yep.
rod, and
Yeah, because I actually
So-
got that engraved in one of them. I have laser cut in one of them.
I'm going to
Yeah,
grab a drink. Go ahead and keep going.
hey, not a problem.
Yeah.
But so that was your you had 7 of the original Mendel style Prusa or Prusa Mendel style printers. I guess they weren't even really called Prusas at that point. They were still just called the Mendel, and then
Yeah.
Prusa Research started when he came out with the original Prusa 000 or whatever he called it, the Prusa 0, and then the original Mark 1 was he called it the 0.5. That's what it was. The original Prusa was like the Mark 0.5, and then there was the Mark 5, and then he did the little incremental upgrades from then on.
Yeah, here's one of my racks. So it's gonna be tough to see unless he zooms in. But yeah, there's the original. I kept one of them and sold the other ones. And I was telling these guys, no kidding. Back then, I was getting 600 a piece, but there were no other 3D printers when I started building these.
No.
And I was actually selling them, making that kind of profit. And then she just took a dive. I couldn't give this away now. This is the first one. That's why I kept it. It's my first original one I built. And I built 7 of them, and that started my printer farm and my that part of that business. And then here's some of the first CR10s. Well, everybody knows what them are. And them are workhorses, man. Them made me a lot of cash. But
Wish I would have kept my old printers. I've upgraded printers for gaming machines for so many years, and you invest $2,000 or $3,000 in them in 4 or 5 years, you put them in the garbage can. But I should have. That'd be cool to have a retro. All my computers since in the early '90s. With my first one with the TI instruments that had a cassette recorder and a 13-inch black and white TV hooked up to it back in the day.
Yeah.
Take that back. That's back when I was like a teenager. That was long, before that. Way before the internet.
Yep. TVs with picture tubes, with tubes in the back. Used to work on them.
Yeah, a strange problem I have. When I watch a lot of people stream on my TV in the living room, I got a big 70-inch. I'm on my phone, sitting on the couch, in the morning, and I'm typing comments. I hit send. It sends it on my phone, but when I look at the screen, it never pops up. It's like, what the hell? So then I got to jump and go to my computer. But quite often, I'll type things on my phone to make a comment, and it's not showing up on the screen. I don't know why.
I'll be back. Wife just got home.
All right.
Okay, good sir. As a matter of fact, looks like Fugatech Shane, he's got a stream going right now, so I'm gonna pop out and play around with the printer while I'm watching him for a little bit. So
Okay.
it was good seeing everybody, good chatting with everybody. Mr. Travis, nice of you to come out of retirement.
Yeah, I've been streaming for 3 hours, 18 minutes now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for today, and we'll come back in 3 or 4 days, do it again, and then next week I'm having David Petzel on. I have to get a hold of him on Facebook, and he's supposed to be on next week sometime.
Yep, so you can get Petsfang Petzel on.
That's right. Yeah.
But Chris Travis, Al Jolly, Dixon, Dan, I appreciate it. Jolly's away from his computer, so he's not going to realize what happened when he comes back. But thank you very much, everybody.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do this again whenever you want. You know, when I'm streaming, you're welcome to pop in and hang out, and we can chat or whatever. Been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's always someone streaming.
Yep. Well, you guys take care and have a great night. Thanks everybody on YouTube and Facebook, and take care, everybody.
Yep.
Yep.